Hey there, Silver Tongue Devil here, and we are back on In Death Unchained, Quest 3 Native. This is my season run, I guess. When's the season end? I don't know, but I want to get some prep in this season so I don't get caught unaware like I did last season. So, as I've say with these style of runs in any of my streams, if anybody has any questions, please do ask. If it sounds silly or you think you sound silly, ask it anyway. No one will take the proverbial, and you might be doing somebody a favour by asking for something that someone else might be too afraid to ask. So as far as that is concerned, Ray, let me just reread that. 2.5 bonus on kill or headshot. It's so it would, well, you. Oh, well, that's me talking for the next 10 minutes. Well done, Ray. Like I need an excuse. So, well, I'll just answer that and then we'll get going. So the thing is, I need to qualify the question a little bit, because you don't actually get, I think there's a cycle bonus, but it's like, I think you get a point per cycle at this rate. But again, this is something I need to start dissecting at the higher levels of Mortal, which I may do, just so I've got a better handle on the scoring system. But the way that the game works is, I mean, I'll demonstrate. Those 4 shots scored me no points. Technically, the kill of that guy scored me no points. I got 90 gold from him, but that's the gold bonus. And you would get that on kill, regardless of whether it was via headshot or not. So the reason why I say it's worth quantifying the question is you get nothing for a kill. There are no points awarded for the kill. You could say, yeah, but you're getting the gold. Well, you're getting the gold because of the kill, not because of the kill. I think that makes sense. What you do get points for is a headshot, regardless of whether it results in a kill or not. So hopefully that quantifies the question. Do you get 2.5 times for a headshot or for the kill? Well, you don't actually get any points for the kill, so you don't get 2.5 times for the kill, but you do get 2.5 times for the headshot, and you do get 2.5 times gold. I think that was quite concise and proper. But the thing is, as well, it's these sort of questions that I have no problems. When did I pick up Wrath of God? Fuck. Oh, I might have been... Oh, we could do a demo on Wrath of God and I can show you all how to use it properly. That's actually quite a good room for it as well. Get away a second. Or there's a good room coming up for it. Accidentally switched. So, it's those sort of questions that I don't mind answering over and over again. The reason being is because none of this information is given, and the only way that you can work it out is by trial and error, which isn't usually good in a game, but do bear in mind that part of the reason why this channel exists is because games do this, and I like to find out, and I like to explain. You almost caught me by surprise. However, have one of these and one of those. Excuse you. So yeah, good question. And hopefully that answers it. So, but it is important to make the distinction, because a lot of people, to extrapolate on what Ray's talking on here, people still think minus 480. Oh, I got 480 points. Minus 111. And I don't think they only added the minus in recently, within the last couple of seasons or so. And a lot of people have been under the impression that those red numbers are the points. They are not. They are the damage. Now, one of the things to note as well is Point damage does not equate to points. However, you can use the damage numbers to get an idea of the points that you are earning. Why is that? Well, when you are close range with the bow, you do less damage than if you hit a headshot or even a body shot at distance. So note that number, -451. 450, or, well, yeah, I don't know where the extra 1 come from. It used to be 450. 451 is the maximum amount of damage that you can do up close with a vanilla arrow in Death Unchained with the bow. With the crossbow, it's a lot higher. It's in the 900s and somethings. And that's because the crossbow is the short-range weapon of this game, or at least that's where its power is. So the crossbow's damage scales off over distance, whereas the bow's damage scales up over distance. So hopefully I'm going to make an amazing headshot now, and I'll be able to show that off. Not you. You're too close. Oh, hello. Getting some of that there streamer luck. Right, let's see if we can get a little bit of distance on this guy. So, if I come up here, he will stop pathing towards me, and he'll get ready, and he'll throw an axe. So, if I hit him from here, 903. I'll read these out because I have looked back on the stream from time to time. Sometimes those numbers are a little difficult to see, but that was 903. Now, so again, that number is not points. That is damage. Are you still throwing them up there? You fucking idiot. I jumped down here ages ago. And then you'll see that if he gets a bit closer and I headshot him, 506. And then if he gets right next to me, haha! Like, point blank, 450. That's what it should normally be. I don't know where that 1 came from. So, now, why are those numbers important then? You know, they're just damage. We don't need to see that because they've got life bars and everything. I do wish you could turn the numbers off. It would make some of the videos that I've done, well, I feel like it would make them a lot more cinematic and a lot better. I would turn the numbers off in a heartbeat and the life bars. I don't need any of that stuff. But they are useful to us because, I mean, not in the method of seeing how much damage you've done, but you can get a better idea of how many points you are scoring because, well, with the bow, if we are scoring 451 now for some reason, we know that that is considered short range and point blank, and that is worth about 250 points in the marksman category. Whereas if we shoot... that wasn't full draw by the sounds of things. So that's still 451. That's so in this 450 region, basically, it'd be what would be considered. Oh, neck shot. How's that not fatal? Oh, and then one between the fingers, apparently. So hitting these shots, you'll see those numbers. And that would tell me that it's a short-range shot. Anything more than 450, and then you are taking advantage of the scaling up in damage that the bow does at distance, but you also know, like for instance, if I can hit this cat, no, try his friend, 956. So now that's about pretty close to the top end of what the bow vanilla arrows are capable of, and so I now know that that was probably considered a longer range shot or a long range shot. Those headshots are worth in the sort of like 400 to 500 point region. Now the only problem is it doesn't scale up indefinitely. So like for instance, if I can hit this guy, way, so that's about the maximum that you're going to get, but you can still score more points than that if you can get them further away. It does cap out. The cap is, I think it's 1,200 odd points for a headshot at really extreme distances, which if I remember, I will show you all later, because there's a good spot that you can go to practice it and kind of exploit it. Not the way that I want to play the game though, and I don't think it's particularly entertaining, so I will probably refrain. But like being up here, and one of the things that I have found as well is in certain games you would find that, like for instance, that, because it hasn't taken into account the distance that I am from the target in height, but just in length. Where is that guy? There is a monk down there. Oh, he is there. Oh, there's two. Well, this is, well, so it displays the damage that you have done, not the damage that they can take, so to speak. So the numbers that are coming up are always how much you have inflicted, regardless of whether the enemy can tank that or not. So it's basically, it's overkill damage at that point. So one of the things to note as well, because I have tested this fairly extensively, but let's have a look now. So 558486. So if we pop a shot in on this guy, so let's take note, 8486. Lovely. 8486. So that 84. So that shot was worth about 700 points. And then you've got the gold on top of it. You've got the gold with that as well. Yeah, you've got the gold with that as well. So the headshot was worth about 600, and then we got the 100 gold. Ish. I mean, someone can get a calculator out if you really want to. The point that I'm going to, or the point that I'm alluding to here is some games would calculate that as like short range, as no distance. This is important because it's basically about the flight time of the arrow that damage and scoring. No, the damage and scoring is based on, and not the distance from player. I have played games where it's like, hang on a second, I'm 3 miles up in the air, but I'm getting basic points for shooting that guy way down there. Yet if you fire on a plane, and let's say I hit a guy all the way over there, well, that would award me all those long range points. So again, these are things that I made a point of working out so that I knew it was more to do with how to game the system, because we're all after points, aren't we? I mean, you know, unless you're not like close to 100%. But yeah, getting the maximum amount of points out of everything is a way to play this game, and is probably, if you can keep pace and not get bored, is probably the best way to play this game, because it basically then means that you can get a lot more points without having to get as far. I think we're all here for the headshot sound. I'll make sure I put plenty of them in. I've been playing on the crossbow. Ugh. Where are you going? You are off. So, as I said, I know it's a bit difficult on stream because it's more to do with VR than it is the quality side of things, based on what you see and what I see. But yeah, that should answer all and any future questions on point scoring probably as well. So, but yeah, it's they're important factors, and it's important to know. And as I say, the further you get in this game, the harder it becomes. So if you can extract the maximum amount of points out of everything at all times, well, then you can get a better score than somebody who can't. Yeah, not wrong. You're not wrong, Mr. Pepe. It's one of the things... Oh, God. Oh, see that? It fucking disappeared. It's back now. There you go. If Weebs is in the chat, there you go. Weebs, Quest 3 Pros. Or Quest 2 Pros, controllers. Never lose tracking again, or so they said. I don't get that very often, if I'm honest, and it is at least controllable unless both hands do it at the same time, which hasn't happened so far. But no, you're quite right. They massively nailed a lot of sound effects in this. The headshot sound. I think the shield sound is a good one as well. What the enemy screech is also a good one. And then we can't forget the click. I know a lot of us haven't heard clicks in this game for a very long time, but nothing quite sounds like that click. And the fact that, you know, it's nailed on with you've done something and you're getting something good for doing it as well is very good. It's having played Light Brigade on the bow recently, which I've obviously definitely warmed up to as far as the bow play is concerned. It's one of the things I think the bow in Light Brigade is missing, is it makes, for a headshot, it makes the same sounds as the guns. It's like a little tink, and it's not very satisfying. You know, when you're nailing those headshots from across the map, you don't want a tink, you want a thudunk. Maybe I should do the sound for these games. Everything would just end up as a thudunk. So, right, that's all clear. Do clear your areas as well. Going back to what I said about being able to extract more points out of the lower levels. Hello, Dr. Zog. Being able to extract a lot of points out of the lower levels, you can get more points out of the higher levels because enemies have higher health bars and so take more shots to kill. And then if you can make those shots headshots, as I said, doesn't have to be a kill to get headshot points, just needs to be a headshot. This is why when you see people getting these millions upon millions of score, well, the reason being is because at the cycles that they're playing at, enemies maybe take 20 to 30 headshots to put away, and each one of those headshots is scoring. Ah, you moved your head. There we go. So each one of those headshots is scoring. And if you can extract multiple headshots out of the one adversary, then you are all good on the scoring side of things. Oh, look at this. What is this game? I never get this many holy armors, but the thing is, I get the impression that... there we go. I get the impression that I'm getting all of these holy armors now, and we are going to have a drought. You can remind me how many holy armors I got at the start. Hello, Ellie. How we doing? But, yeah, you can all remind me later on when I'm complaining about not getting any sodding holy armors at the cycles where I actually need them. Because at the moment, holy armors are a bit of a waste. So, for those of you who don't know what holy armors do, first and foremost, there is a maximum limit. You can only carry 3. That is because it has been confirmed within the law. Not only are we evil, or, well, I don't know, lawful evil, or at least I like to think my character is. But obviously don't go into the training room and read the story. Bah, humbug. Or the things that come up on the shards. Bah, I don't like that story. I like my own. I loved it when in-death used to be ambiguous as to what you were and why you were here. Because, I mean, you know, those are crusading knights. They're not bad guys, right? Why are we here putting headshots in all of them? I don't know. Is it because we're some winged spawn of Satan with 3 heads for those 3 slots of holy armor? Come back to reap terrible vengeance on heaven? I'd like to think so. So, and if the story says differently, well, I've played without story in this game for long enough now. So I'll stick to my own. Thank you very much. Hello, fellas. So, the reason why I feel that the holy armors are a waste at these early stages is because, so, as you may... Right, exactly, yeah. Little goody two-shoes orphan, and we've got to slot her to save her. Interesting. I don't know about you, but if I was gold-plated, I wouldn't want to be saved. That was one of my musings whilst I was playing Mortal earlier. But anyway, so as far as holy armor is concerned, you can see that I've got 3 grey blocks over the top of my life bar. Now, that's the maximum amount that I can get. They basically count as an additional bar of health. So I think we've got the full 12, then another 3. So that gives us basically 15 hits before we die. Now, the reason why... typical, isn't it? I mean, they made the chalice look really good, but come on, they should have been able to do a little bit more with the liquid in there. Just looks like somebody's put a... I don't know. like a circle in there. Anyway. So, the reason why getting these holy armors early is, well, one of the problems with this game is it is very difficult to know. Oh, hello. Very difficult to know. Well, we're not going to use that, but that was nice. So, it's very difficult to know when you've lost a holy armor. It's one of the things that I do need to test, but it's very difficult to test because usually holy armors are quite rare. Now, I and other players feel that when you have holy armors, it feels like you have a bigger hitbox. You seem to get holy armors stripped off of you quite easily, even though, like, it doesn't feel like things have passed as close to you as they normally would to get health. Now, I think that's because when you take holy armor, there is when you take holy armor damage that would take a holy armor off, there's like a tiny bit of a blue glint and nothing else. There's no sound, there's no feedback, there's no nothing. It just strips you of the armor, and a lot of the time you don't realize. So I think that's why, but again, without some thorough testing, and it's obviously something that's very difficult to test because holy armors are quite rare at the best of times. You can start the game off with 2, though, so maybe that is something. I haven't done a testing stream for a very long time, but I feel like I need to get enough things together to test to, you know, at least get a couple of hours out of it. So... it should be a clang, definitely. It should be a clang, and there should be, like, the blue around the outside, like we get when we take a hit with bloods, or with life. So, the reason why it's kind of wasted on us now is, for those of you who don't know, when you get to cycle 4, so we're on cycle 2, we've played through the game once, we're now going again, because that's what we do, ad infinitum. For those of you who don't know, when you get to cycle 5, damage goes up to 2 per hit. So you would take 2 blocks of life per hit. So, and it can get to the point, I think it's now cycle, hang on, 5 is 2. So, 6, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5, 9, 6, 10, 7, 11, 8, 12. So I think it's cycle 16 now. If you get to it's 15 or 16. It changes from season to season with what they've done recently. I used to know what it was, but to be fair, I haven't been there yet. So, but so the amount of damage that you take per hit from anything, bar lava, was the case previously. You always only take 1 tap of damage from lava. Never more than 1. Again, that was down to a complaint from somebody. I think it's justified. Nobody likes stepping their toe in a lava and losing like 4 blocks of health. That's rubbish. Anyway, so they changed it so that you can now take fatal damage. You can now take 12 points of damage, and I don't know if it maxes out. This is what the skulls underneath the cycle indicate. So when we get to cycle 5, you will see that there will be 2 skulls underneath cycle 5. So we know that per point of damage that we take, we actually lose 2. Now, why is all this important? Holy armor, when you have completed, when you've unlocked it and completed 1 cycle, upgrades. And holy armor protects you for as much damage as you take. So, for instance, let's say we were on cycle 16 and we took a hit, but we had holy armor. We would still only lose 1 holy armor. And so this is how, again, these players that can get to these stupidly high cycles and you know, have to put up with being potentially 1-hit KO'd from full life. We'll go back and do the pit. Oh, I've got to check the shop as well. This is how players that can go from having 12 life to dead can survive. Would you look at this? So my point is, cycle 1 to 4, if I lose a holy armor, it doesn't feel like I'm getting value out of something that can take the equivalent of multiple hits at those much higher cycles. And it offers me another one. So just so you can see, confirmed 3-headed demonette. Confirmed. We cannot pick a 4th helmet up because we've only got 1, 2, 3 heads. We've run out of heads and there's not enough space left to put another helmet on. Don't necessarily have to be heads near our shoulders either. Maybe one of those helmets is a very small helmet in some people's cases. So, pit time. So, maybe we could do some looking at the scoring down here just so I can show off some bits and bobs. So, for those of you who haven't visited pits, pits are the biggest optional, as if Von was here, well, I'm sure she would tell you, pits are the biggest but optional spike of difficulty in the entire game. It's pits that raise this game up to kind of like the Dark Souls of VR. When you've been playing it for a very long time, you get used to the shenanigans and crap that goes on down here. But in the meantime, you see high-level enemies, nasty enemies, and just all sorts of bad, nightmarish stuff down here. And the pits are usually quite small environments, so you also have the added problem of not a lot of maneuverability and a lot of enemies. You know, we haven't really got anywhere that we can get up and fire down. We can't retreat to the safety of the rooftops because pits aren't usually very vertical. Oh, crap. I had to press both because I forgot. This is a problem that you get when you play with the crossbow and the bow. These two buttons change around. It is something that I never think I'll be able to get over. The shard is in the right, the shield is in the left. Again, this is another reason why I do try and avoid using either, so that when I switch from bow to crossbow I don't have any problems. But one of the things that I have learnt to do is, if in doubt, just press both. And you might get it. You might get it. You shouldn't try and block anything in this game, though I've had some absolute bullshit in my time. So, nice long distance shot. That will be worth double the amount of headshot and gold that got me. As will that one. As will that one. That also includes the little bit of gold that you get for every headshot that you make. Achievements provided. Right, so the best way always to do pits, I mean, we've got quite an easy pit because of the enemies. One thing to note is pits will very rarely have less than 2 enemy types within them. So, for instance, you will always get incubi in the pits. In the pits in Purgatory, you will always get ghosts, or in Desolation, because they're the same pits. Then you will nearly always have 2 distinct kinds of enemies. In this circumstance of 4, so you can have knights, skeleton, warriors, the ones with the shields and swords that do the teleporting, normal brown monks, or the worser cousins, the skeleton archers. So those are the 4 archetype of enemies that can be down here. Another enemy that can be within that setup, because I kind of have to go back on one of the videos that I did with the pits, is because you don't always get abominations down in these pits. It can depend on, like, for instance, with the knight and skeleton warrior setup, I don't think you get abominations down here as well. In this pit anyway, because normally you would have a couple hiding back and around here. So I think, like, although this is an easier pit because you haven't got much range stuff coming at you, look at this mess down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 melee combatants, and some of them can teleport right down my throat. So let's whittle down these numbers some. If you are going to try and concentrate on headshots anywhere, concentrate on headshots down here, because you are scoring decent amounts of points. I do want to try and leave those so I can show you guys how to extract some points, but God, I'm giving myself a lot to do today. But that's why we're here, I guess. So let's get away from all of that in a minute. We'll come back to that. One of the things that we can take advantage of whilst we are down here is because the enemies are dense, there's a lot of them, we can take advantage of the rule of 17. Now, what is that rule? That there can only be approximately... It's rule of 17 because that was a number thrown out by Super Bright. I've had it at more, but that was through manipulation, shall we say. But there can only be 17 enemies spawned around you, or is supposed to only be 17 enemies spawned around you. You can get that higher than that number. You have to get swarms of abominations from summoners, and you can do that. You might still be able to do that in the abyss pits, namely agony. So the rule of 17 will allow us to alert a load of people and get a load of people aggressive on us, and then run to another corner. Now, you are going from one group of alerted enemies to then alerting another group of enemies, but as you can see, there's a lot less going on over here than there was over there. And as you'll also see, if we go back and have a look over there, a lot of things are now only now just spawning back in because I'm getting a little bit closer. And you can use this, as I've shown in other videos, to de-aggro enemies. So this guy is all aggressive. If I can despawn him, he will stop chucking fireballs and making noises and trying to ram these things down my throat. So one of the other things that we want to look at whilst we're down here is incubi. They have a big head. It is their weak spot. It will disrupt them in their spells. If you hit their head when they are casting, they drop their fireballs and they also stagger back. The other thing to note is because they're a big head and a big target, we can get some decent scoring done here, and we do that by just trying to get as far away as possible from them and nailing them with the headshots. Now, I know as he gets further away you won't be able to see the numbers, but the numbers are getting higher because the distance is increasing. We also know then that we're getting more points for that as well. Let's clear a little bit more out here. Like, here's a good example for the whole point scoring thing. You cannot headshot a ghost, alright, but you can kill a ghost by hitting the white spot. 82, 682 we are on. Now, 683, we got a point. I think that's the cycle bonus. The reason being is because I still have the familiar up to check my score, and so it hasn't registered the 71 gold. So my score when that gold gets registered, we have to get away now. My score when that gold gets registered, oh, I can't remember what it was, but it'll be about 140 points on top of that, or it should have been anyway. 861. This is how bad my memory is. You can see how it's a real problem for me to have to work all of this crap out. Let's try that again. I'll try and have good memory. You're not helping. Let's get rid of this guy. So this is part of the whole constructing the headshots. You know, taking a step back. Wait. Finished to this guy yet? Right. There you go. So that's something to note as well. When you check your, because this is your familiar, when you put your palm up and check your familiar to see your points and your gold, one of the things to note is it's this thing that actually goes out, in essence, and fetches your gold. So if you have it up, it can't go and fetch. If you put it down, it'll then, all the gold will flick up and it kind of goes and collects it. Anyway, let's get rid of those. Wait, I always find it best to wait a couple of seconds before you like do something if you're trying to check score. So 452, and if I shoot this ghost and instantly look. 452, so we got 452, so we got 30 points for that ghost kill. 452, it was 482. 82. So about 160 points on top of that in gold. But so, well, it's actually 2.5 times. So we got the 80 that we got, then another 80, that makes us up to 2 times, and then another 40 on top of that because it's a 2.5 times multiplier. So that ghost will have awarded us 146 would be 2 times, and then half of 73 is 30 something, 7 probably. So 176, another 37. Yeah, close to 200 gold, I reckon. Something like that. Again, I suppose one of the things to note with your scoring is there are some times when you need to know exactly how much you are scoring, but as a general rule, as long as you know you are scoring well, then, like, I don't check my score anymore. I know what I have to do to get a decent score. Like, for instance, this guy is not going to be worth that much in the way of points. So each headshot that we're getting here, it says plus 15 gold, and that number can vary between 14 and 17. But you can then double that and then half it on again. So double the 15 up to 30 and then half of the 15. So that's another 7.5. And I think this game rounds down for points from what I remember last time. So each one of these headshots is actually worth somewhere in the region of about 37 gold. Plus the points that we get for the actual headshot itself in the marksman category. Plus the cycle bonus, whatever that is. And then the gold at the end for killing him as well. That's different to the headshot gold. So, yeah. I think that was everything that I wanted. It was mainly on the ghost side of things. There's still some things that even I don't know about the scoring. As I said, the cycle bonus, whatever that is, that seems to go a bit silly and a bit all over the place in some of the cycles that I've been doing. But as a... bloody wall. As a general rule, if you extend the range to your opponent and pop a headshot in them, you are scoring decent points. Now, this is more like the sort of range that we want to do. And it's incubi in the later stages of the game where these big boy top players that are getting all their many, many millions of points. I mean, there was a time I was capable of that. We'll find out during these runs if I still am. But it's these sort of shots that are worth a lot of points if you can make them. Now, one of the things that we want to do is we want to attract his attention, but we want to aim high. Now, let's see how many points this is worth. So, 1153. I'll check that in a second, so let me finish this and then I'll have a look at that. I need to reread that. I think I know what you're getting at. Hello, Laurent. Never. I'm never talking about you. Damn. So, we do want his attention because it makes hitting that headshot easier. There we go. I've forgotten the numbers already. 406. Hang on. Let's wait for the gold to make sure the gold's in. Right, 4066. Nail it. We'll do it on another one. You've got too close. I'll clear up the area a little bit because I think there's at least one more incubi left. And then I'll do some long distance headshots. But as a long story short, you should... right? Right, Athom? Hello, Athom, and yes, he's not wrong. This is what I do think, before I answer Dr. Zog, this is what I do think is a problem, is the fireballs from Incubi in Cycle 1 are ridiculously fast. This is Cycle 2, but if you watched my Cycle 1 when I was in the pit, I was having to do maneuvers I was putting my back out trying to get out of the way of some of these incubi fireballs, but normally you don't have to do that. So, yeah, that helps new players, doesn't it? Full speed fucking fireballs. And also, if anybody's going to sort that out, can they sort the sound effect out as well so that fireballs don't sound like an arrow hitting a fucking wall? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right, Dr. Zog. Let me just reread that a second. Do the ghosts rise above so their hearts are roughly the same elevation as a regular foe? Well, so ghosts will always come at you so that they're... Let's go and have a look. The thing is, if you are on a level, and basically a ghost will always either decrease its altitude or increase its altitude to match your level. Now, I can't remember which way it was. I'll work it out as we're playing. But I think it's when they elevate, they only go up and slightly forward. When they come down at you, they can almost come down on you at full speed. So it is always better to get up high and attack ghosts. I will double check that, though. I think that's the way around it is. Again, these are things that don't really matter to me anymore because of the ridiculous amount that I abuse slow time, but they might help you. So, but as a general rule, when a ghost is coming at you, let's have a look, because he's going to be on level now. Hello, Weebs. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. That white spot is about where the head should be on a regular enemy. If we let he, her, shim, it, who, they, whatever it is. Yeah, see how far... So that's about the size of a regular enemy, but lent forwards. So I would have said the head is ever so slightly higher and gets higher again when you plug them full of arrows. I tell you what, that hitbox has got a little bit better, or that might have been. I'm going to try that when it's flying towards me. But yeah, I think I'd say you're about right there. So I think a ghost is when it is coming at you straight and level. So yeah, it is. When they are rising up, look how that ghost is barely coming towards me. And then it gets to my height, levels out, and comes at me. And when you get to the higher cycles, that can be some speed. Whereas if I get low, notice how much she is still travelling while she reduces her speed. I always call the ghosts she. I assume they are. So, you know, the lesson to be learnt from them, if you're going to attack ghosts, be above them as opposed to below them, because then they spend a lot more time adjusting their altitude to get up to your level before they come at you, as opposed to when they are descending on you, they are almost as fast as when they are moving in a straight line. I'm testing something out there. Look at that one. That should have been a kill. That should have all... Well, that's in the white. So this is why I say try and shoot to the right of the kind of like black splodge within the white splodge. Because if you shoot to the left, there's something off with the hitbox there, I feel. And again, it has always been that way, and it has always been that way, and it makes me think that the reason why it's like that is because when they are coming towards you, they have a hand out extended, and it rotates the model, and that hasn't been accommodated for on the hitbox. So I'm purposely trying to keep my shots to the left of them at the moment, and you'll see that I am getting a lot less luck and hits with them. See if we can actually do something with this. You're not far enough away though, are you, sir? Let's go and get that orphan. So one of the things that I will say in these initial streams is, well, probably in the whole thing, you know, setting ourselves up for failure, as you do, is my scoring is not going to be as good as it could be. I did see Weebs. Little senior moment there. But that's why you've got a pension, and that's why I haven't yet. I still have all of my faculties, although memory has been waning. Right, let's go and get that orphan before she disappears. Note how I stopped the orphan by getting close. I didn't hit her. The arrow sticking out of her skull is not the reason why she's not teleporting away. The reason why she didn't teleport away then when she was leaving was because I got close. Left. That was center. That was not left. I'll demonstrate that one more time, actually. I think that's a good demonstration. Here's the problem. I can't remember what we did in the last stream, so I'm probably going to be repeating myself. But, you know, it all helps cement. Note how she's teleporting away. If I get close, she stops. She will then teleport normally away from me, and then she will make best distance to try and get far enough away from me to teleport. I can stop her teleporting one of two fashions. Shooting an arrow at her and hitting her, or getting close. And you can leave that to quite... this is going to cost me an orphan, I can tell. You can leave that to quite late in the day. Note how she'd taken off. She was ready to go. And by getting close to her, we brought her back down. Good orphan. Down. Good orphan. Down. Get fucked. Right. There you go. One gold-plated orphan saved. So, right, let's clear this out, and then I'll try and do some testing, or try and show off the point scoring that you get on Incubi at those extreme ranges. It is actually, as long as you can keep making fairly regular hits, it is quite easy to do. But the problem that you get is when you start missing those headshots, you're not staggering them, and if you're not staggering them, then they can teleport, and then that like kind of fouls up your scoring. I mean, it's not too bad because you can just run away and start again. So this one, so again, note how she's just coming up. I need a better angle than that to show it off, but you can see that she's not advancing to me quite as quickly. But if she was coming down on me, then she'd be on me a lot faster. So always attack the ghosts from up on high. But this one, look how fast it's moving, and it is reducing its height towards me. They also have a tendency of going high. They know their strengths and weaknesses. They have a tendency to go higher than they need to so that they can come down at you at top speed from time to time. Another thing to note as well is, like a good American car, ghosts have great top speed and reasonably decent acceleration, but cornering, get out of here. They are shit at cornering once they are at top speed. You can quite easily maneuver. I'm not talking about all American cars, obviously, just some. But, like, try and demonstrate without hopefully losing my holy armor. I'm surprised I haven't lost one yet, actually, if I'm honest. Because I wouldn't know if I had. But when they are at full speed, if I teleport basically behind her, look at that. Spends ages turning to then come back at me, and then they can pick up quite a bit of pace, but it's that turn. And this is how you beat them, staying on the move and not moving either towards them or away from them directly, but moving off to one side. And then they have to kind of do this laborious slow down and turn before they then come at you again. At later cycles, it's a lot more noticeable because they can put a huge burst of speed on and they get faster. So ghosts definitely being one of the worst enemy types in this game to face, and the death of many a high cycle player. Right, we were going to do some things with you. Right, come on, memory, you can do it. Please be easy numbers. That's not an easy number. Right, 6, 4, 5, 2. So when I am testing for points on this, I usually look at that and then look after I've killed to get an idea of the total. But to give you an idea of the individual, 6, 4, 5, 2. Let's try and make this as long as I possibly can. You can get to... So I think you can get to just about your maximum range, maybe a little bit further. These shots... Thanks, Vaughn. These shots should be doing in... I'll change battery anyway. These shots should be doing in the region of like 992. So then we know that we're at the maximum distance for damage. But the maximum amount of points you can get out of a shot does extend past the maximum damage. So... This is probably going to be... Let's see if we can work it out. This should be just shy of about 3 grand, I reckon. So that 264... It's not 6,000 a headshot, Laurent. It will be 3,200 plus the gold. I mean... If you're talking about a kill and the gold that you then get from one of them at Mortal... But, hey, let's see. This shot is not... You're just saying numbers at this point now. Hang on. Oh, right, hang on. My chat's gone behind. 645272. Oh, right, sorry, you're saying my numbers. Thanks, Laurent. I thought you were going to try and convince me that this is a 6k headshot. But yeah, nice one, Laurent. Thank you. I know what you're doing now. You were repeating the numbers that are in front of me. I should have twigged on, but I didn't. Anyway, right, so 6452. So it doesn't... The thing that makes this easier... No, thank you. Sorry, Laurent, my chat. Thank you. So my... It doesn't matter if I hit a body shot here either, because I won't show it, but a body shot won't do anything score-wise. Right? Damn. So, hang on. So we have that score, 726452. As you can see, that body shot score does nothing. It did make him teleport. I was waiting for that. Right, let's just let's make sure we've cleared the pit. There are, to be fair, my favourite point for... Because you can manoeuvre the incubi. My favourite point is probably from either from here to here, or you can get them to be near the portal and then make that shot, and I think those are two of the furthest points. Let's see if we can nail this one. Oh, you're not going to play, are you? Okay, well, let's do it over here then. Okay, so we have the score. Would you just stop? I'm trying to test. So this is part and parcel of the problem. One of the things that I will say is they don't always teleport. In fact, they never teleport when I want them to. However, if I don't want them to teleport, it's all they'll fucking do. Yeah, that's not far enough away. Do you want to come down here or something? No, just throw fireballs at me. Yeah, no, don't worry about teleporting or anything. One of the things to be careful on the pits is there are some spots in the pits where those fireballs will pass through the ceiling, and it's very fucking annoying, especially when you are on high cycle. Right, let's see if we can maneuver this guy a little bit. That's not far enough. Could do with you here. See what I mean? You don't you think about doing it, but you don't actually do it, and then you do your stupid little fuck off. Just teleport here, and I'll go over somewhere else. You'd think I enjoy this with the fact that I obviously love the sound of my own voice. I really don't. Why can't you play? Oh, fuck off. Maybe we'll save this test for another time. Can I actually get an angle on him from anywhere? I do find if you break... Oh, that might do us. Yeah, that'll do us. Well, it's not ideal. Get a bit closer. Right, so 6452. And headshot. Down. And stay there. There we go. So, wait for the gold to come in and be calculated and so on, and then bam. 728304. So that's 6... What did we say? 6452... 64. So that was about 1,900 points. I haven't seen any recently, but I mean they haven't done anything, so I don't think they have fixed it. So this one should be a little bit further. 8307. Damn. Thought that was it. Damn. Thought that was it. Damn. He's going between his fucking horns. But that's what you want as well. You want to be shooting over. There we go. Fuck. 8352, wasn't it? Or something along those lines? 83. 2. Plus another 1. So that's probably about maximum distance. Was it 835 something? So that's probably about the sort of distance. And I know you guys probably can't even see him. I can see him. He's quite a distinct silhouette. It's one of the things that they definitely improved in this was the lighting and also like the render and draw distance. Hang on, are your fireballs not able to reach me now? I've never seen... Oh, there's a good indication then. They always used to be able to travel indefinitely. Is it because he's casting more? Is it because there can only be 2 on screen at the same time? Or is it the distance travelled? No, it's distance travelled. 8,307. So yeah, that was about maximum headshot score. So that's the sort of distance that you want to be at. Now, with the bow, remember, our shots scale up on damage over distance. And with the crossbow, it's the opposite way around. So with the crossbow, when you have them at the minimum damage, when they're really far away, you should be doing something like 488, I think it is. So the long and the short of it is, a crossbow is actually the better weapon for getting lots and lots of headshots at long range, even though that's not what it's designed for, because it is doing less damage, but still scoring the same as the bow. This is why crossbow scores should normally be, if you've got the right people behind the various weapons, should be higher by default, because if a crossbow and a bow player are doing things at the same distance, a crossbow player will get 2 headshots for every headshot a bow player will be getting in terms of life. So if an enemy has, what would it be, say 1,000 hit points, then a bow will pretty much KO that in 1 shot, whereas a crossbow will get at least 2 at that distance. I know that doesn't quite work out, but you get my meaning. You're doing a lot more damage with the bow than you are with the crossbow at these extreme ranges where the scoring comes in. So, what was that, Weebs? Incubi score more in the pits. Yeah, well, no, Incubi don't score more in the pits. The pit multiply... I mean, no, I won't be pedantic. You are right, Weebs. They do score more in the pits, but it's not down to the Incubi themselves. It's to do with the pit multiplier. So for instance, if we hit a shot and the enemy died and it awarded us 100 gold, we would get that 100 gold again. So that puts us up to 200, and then we would get half of that amount again, putting us up to 250. Hence the 2.5 times multiplier that you get in pits. There was a day when if you entered a pit, this was back in Season 3, and this would be scary to watch people these days play it. There was a time when if you entered the pits, you then carried that 2.5 times multiplier with you for the rest of your run until you saved. And so that then bred, although it was a glitch and it was fixed after a season, that then basically bred a lot of players, myself included, to begin and end your sessions with either doing a pit to begin with or next to a pit for when you start next time. That was the most efficient way to play. And even then, though, we weren't getting the silly scores that you see today on those leaderboards. So, but that's just people playing and getting familiar and getting further and knowing how the systems work and the scoring works. Like, you know, I remember a time when me and Beanie were competing at the top of the Saints Approach leaderboard, and we thought we were doing exceptional, and we were hailed as Siege of Heaven heroes with scores of like 1.5 to 2 million. And now you look at what people are capable of, again, myself included, not as high as some of the top boys, but you see what people are capable of on those maps now. And again, it's always been that way. Nothing's changed. they actually nerfed in Cupids in one of the updates for Siege, so that you had to find other ways to score. And I think the reason being is because the scoring was always based on doing trick shots, and what seemed to be the easiest and most consistent and easy to understand was get 3 headshots, kill a Cupid, and do it in a 4 times. And that's why we thought our scores were so great. Turns out they weren't. So I'll teach you something else as well. Let's have an archer duel, seeing so I've got an extra holy armor. We'll also have a test. I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how close. I'm going to need one of you guys alive, not you. Not you. Ooh. Don't like you. You guys are fast. As I think I've said previously, red enemies are the highest point scoring in regards to gold that you can get in the game. And they are only matched by skeleton archers, as I have found out with all of my mortal shenanigans. Right, so if you get into... You shouldn't try and get into archer duels. As I've said, these guys are accurate, and whereas... Well, I'm not. You know, I miss all my shots. So don't get into long-range sniper duels trying to get those points out of them, because you'll just get hit by an arrow. One of the things that you can do, as well as doing some kind of, I don't know, electric boogaloo in your play space to get out of the way of these arrows and using copious amounts of slow time, another thing that you can do is, and it gets harder the further cycle that you go, but if I don't move in my play space now, watch how I can manipulate this guy and he'll never be able to hit me as long as I time it right. Timing. And the reason why this works is because I am moving before he fires and then stopping, or moving after he has fired. And why is that? Because, as I said, the archers are insanely accurate, and they will always fire at you if you are stood still. But if you are moving... Where are you? Hey! That was cheating! You're making a shit example, sir. If I am moving, they will lead their shots, so I can just stop. So if I'm moving right... didn't do it quite that way. If I'm moving left, he'll lead his shot to the left. So if I stop, it won't hit me. If I'm standing still and then move as he shoots, he was going for where I was, not where I'm going, because I put... Basically, the point is, these guys, the way that the AI works as far as their aiming is concerned, and obviously not mine, it basically tracks your directional input on the controller to give these guys their accuracy. They're you know, they know what you're doing, and or they can... I mean, I'd imagine, I don't code, not to that level anyway, and I would imagine that's how they get their algorithm for aiming. It ramps up the further and further the game goes on. For, like, for instance, Cycle 1, archers are not so accurate, but their shots are also a lot slower. The higher cycles, the more accurate they get, and the faster those arrows will come at you. Do not try and dodge at this range, basically, because you'll get hit. Right. Ooh! Should we roofie an orphan? I think we should, because this is a good place to do it. And demonetized. So, this isn't the most useful. Let me get rid of a few of these enemies here. This is what Divine Sight ×5 is very good for. Trying to aim high so that I get headshots on these enemies as well. It's one of the few... Just clear the area a second. One of the few arrows I do use in tournament conditions, because it can allow me to get some silly distance headshots with Divine Sight. It's part of the reason why it's a very good fast scoring arrow. I wouldn't use it in normal play because I don't have to be quick here. Where have you actually gone? All the way over there. Look at this prick. Right, so let's roofie an orphan, shall we? Now, what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to wait for the orphan to be moving over. You can go under, but we'll do over to begin with. We want her to be teleporting away and a structure on top of her. And we'll see about halfway. And let me show you a cool trick you can do. She'll now start teleporting up. We should be able to see the little rays come up. Oh, nope, we've cancelled it that time. She might go again. So we're directly on top of her now, I think, unless she's moved. Nope, she's moved. Should be able to get her up here. She's about in the centre. And basically the whole point is... You're not playing today, are you? Right, let's get her teleporting so she's towards the back end. See the actual... Basically, the long and short of it is we're actually cancelling her teleports by being on top of her. She actually finishes the teleport animation, but she doesn't teleport sound, but she doesn't teleport away. Have they fixed this or something? Nope. Still busted. Hey, how you doing? How does it feel to get roofied, huh? So we now have the orphan on the roof. It doesn't really have much application other than the fact that you can understand that if you are above or below an orphan, when she attempts to teleport, you can actually cancel it without being right next to her, which has its practical uses. I've been able to just about catch an orphan by going over the top of her or getting underneath her when she's teleporting away. This is kind of like, you know, the added effect is that if you're over the top of her, a lot of the time she will teleport up onto this roof. She now cannot get off of this roof either, and as long as we stay within a reasonable distance to her, she won't attempt to teleport away, and then we can just nail her with headshots. So I'll let her laugh a little bit longer, and then we'll put some arrows in her. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Fun for me, anyway. Now, if we leave, she would teleport away. But again, this is one of the ways that you can kind of construct headshots on orphans as well. This is still considered short range. Another thing to note with orphans as well. Do you remember the amount of gold that I said when you've got the achievement up to maximum that you get for a headshot? It wasn't 27. No. So when you get a headshot on an enemy, you get, providing you have the headshot, I think it's Bone Collector. Someone will check, I'm sure. Bone Collector or Let There Be Blood or something along those lines. Anyway, there's 3 levels to whichever achievement it is that I'm yammering on about. And when you get it to maximum level, basically it says you get 15 gold per headshot. It's actually a lie. You get between 14 and 17 gold per headshot. That's the variance of it. Now, the only difference in the game is the orphan. If you body shot her, it is the equivalent in gold, or a little bit less for some reason with that. A little bit less than a headshot. You don't usually get anything for hitting body shots. So I do kind of need to revise that. You do get some. Well, again, that's not actual score for the body shot, is it? That's gold, but you're getting it because of the body shot. But then, in that circumstance, the body shot is very much so a poor man's headshot because you're getting almost double the gold. This has been in the game since the beginning, weebs. There are certain things that you can't fix in these sort of games, like the nature of the way that the game works. Like, for instance, what's a good example of something that they'll never... Right, okay. How many people through time have complained about slow time in this game? Well, you can't fix slow time because it's an integral part of the game. You can't, like, take it away. I know they did for purists, but that is like an additional mode. But you can't just remove it completely from the game because people are complaining about it because it's not very skillful. It's like, no, that's how the game works, is a core mechanic and is supposed to be played. And if you don't like it, play purist or fuck off. Those are your options, basically. trying to think of some other ones. Like, one of the ones, I can't really show it off very well here. If I had Hail of Arrows, I would be able to show it off. But one of the things that I've always maintained, as you're getting headshots, some of the animations that the enemies do for when they're, like, kind of ragdolling and spazzing out a little bit and getting hit by arrows or bolts, their hitboxes change. And this is why you can be certain that you hit a headshot, but the arrow just went through. I get it all the time in Siege, but that's another thing. Oh, yeah, that too. I think they are, because enough people have brought it up. Enough people have brought it up in the Discord. I think I've mentioned it as well. That is another point, as well as I can't remember who was saying earlier. The flooring has grown on me. I can't remember how it used to look anymore now. I've been playing Mortal way too much. So, I still don't think I like it, but it's kind of grown on me. Oh, hello. Like, here's what's technically, I suppose, you could consider a glitch in the game. Because the enemies have not been, and this is actually quite a very cool tip, and if you are new to the game or learning the game, this is a great way to deal with melee enemies. Hide around a corner. Make sure you are far enough away from that corner, and note how he walks past the corner, turns to face me, and then begins his attack. Why does he go through all that palaver? Because the alternative is that he would do his lunging attack and he would hit me through the wall, which used to be a thing. I believe this was put into this game from the original In Death to basically stop that bullshit happening, enemies hitting you through walls, because it was bullshit. It still happens from time to time. Yeah, it's a big thing. You can do it with a lot of things. You can do it with pillars. You can do it with, like, these little things. You can even do it with a wall, as long as the wall is between you. But it is a fantastic tip for anybody who's, like, you know, familiarity bleeds... bleeds? Yeah, I suppose it does bleed contempt as well. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more you can become au fait and familiar with the enemies, and the more systems that you have and learn and know to deal with them, the easier and easier and easier the game becomes. And the thing is, it's a hallmark, if you ask me, of any great game. When I looked at this game, I was looking at the scores, and I was looking at the leaderboards, and nobody really understood anything, and there was no information out there, and people, there were some good people, but, you know, everyone shared a very thing in common when this game was in its Wild West phase of, fuck me, this game's hard. This is the Dark Souls of VR. And it very much was. And one of the reasons why Dark Souls is a great game, and this is as well, is there is a road to mastery, and all of a sudden you can get to this point where you've, like, almost transcended the difficulty, so to speak. And it's very satisfying. I remember being at 0%, like it was only 3 years ago. And yeah, and this game being incredibly hard. It still has its challenges. But the problem is, for it to have a challenge, for me now being, just because I play this game too much, is I have to put many, many, many hours in to get to the point where the game becomes challenging again, which... or at least the main game anyway, which is unfortunate. There's better ways they could have done it, but there you go. We'll do a little bit more cornering downstairs so I can show that off, and then we'll do some extreme range headshotting, and I'll show you a good place to practice. This is not a good place to practice your long range headshots. Why? Because these dudes are more accurate than us, and they can hit their shots. It's not that I can't, but I'm not going to hit them first time every time. The other problem that you have when you're trying to sniper duel archers is if you miss the shot. Hang on. If you miss the shot... Fuck. If you... Maybe I should try and miss shots more often. If you miss the shot, you alert them. And then what usually happens is you are kind of panic firing to try and get that hit on them, to stagger them. We've all been there, myself included. And then the worst thing that can happen is you actually get the hit, but it's a body shot. Why is that the worst thing that can happen? Well, the reason why you're trying to engage them over this distance is to score high points. But because you're hitting them in the body, you're literally just doing yourself out of points. So unless that shot is a headshot, then I'm doing myself out of points. And at the same time as trying to get those headshots, it's giving this guy time because you should be trying to aim for the head and nothing else. And if you miss the headshot, then you try again and try again and try again. And this is a reason why players that get to that middle point of the game where they're trying to improve their scoring find sort of like cycle 4 and 5 very difficult, because not only are you not hitting your headshots, you're having to hit more, and you have to hitting them more consistently to keep up with the enemy and the scoring and stopping them returning fire. Let's see if we can nail some headshots. Nope. And that's points lost. There we go. It doesn't matter too much at this stage when they have sort of like less than 1,000 points. As Ray was saying earlier, how come you can do 900 points of damage to that guy? He's only got, 200. He only had like 600 left. Well, that's because it always displays the amount of damage as if it was overkill. When you get to the stage where enemies can take multiple of these 900 point headshots, like this knight... Damn it. Like, for instance, so that is a very good example. If I hadn't hit that body shot, I probably could have got 2 headshots out of that dude. It's double the points. Yeah, no, that's what I'm planning on. I'll try not to kill everything, don't worry, weebs. The problem is, you won't be able to see much, I don't think. But we'll do some. In fact, let's get the whole procession out and I can show you something else whilst we're doing it. So, let's go around, kill all these dudes. Just take out the archers. See, he was worth 2 headshots, so of course, over somebody that would only be worth 1 headshot, like the crossbow at this distance, I'd be doubling their scoring. This is important because, as we know, the further you get into this game, the harder it becomes, because you're getting closer and closer to that point where you're taking more damage for a single hit. You're getting closer and closer to that point where enemies are taking multiple hits to go down, even if they are headshots. And you're also getting to the point where bosses become harder and harder and harder because they get faster, more aggressive, spawn more enemies, if that's a thing that they do. Except Asmo, he's kind of the same all the way through. He's quite a unique boss, the end boss on this, in that regard. He never gets any harder. His minions do, he doesn't. Right, that's all the knights. Let's get them all out, shall we? Won't that be fun? Time for some... pipering. Right, okay. One thing to note, this is another good place to score. This is a nice little place to construct the headshot for scoring purposes. Standing a little bit further back on this platform in particular is a little bit special. These abominations think they can hit us, but they cannot. I think I can get quite close, and I don't think they can hit us up here, but I don't want to lose my armor, so... They can't hit us up here. Whereas, if I went to... this one... as you can see, they definitely can't hit me, so they won't attempt to. However, I am so high up, we covered this in the last one, I am so high up they will actually move to try and get below me. And it's in an attempt, I think, to close the distance, but what it actually does is it just basically spoils your aim and makes getting headshots firing down, directly down, a lot harder. Now, you guys, come with me. Now, you should be able to hear the pitter-patter of little tiny feet. And if I don't know if this will take my armor, but some of those dudes are actually getting close enough to be able to hit us. And the reason why they are not, and I believe is the case, is that the hitbox for the player is not on the back or even a box. It's like a hit sheet in front of you, which is why I'm walking at a reasonably slow speed and they're not actually able to hit me, despite probably going through my back. They're not able to hit me. You two, come along. Don't know how many we've got. Oh, we've got a few. Now, don't turn around and look at them because that basically invites the hit. So, but let's keep walking. So, probably got some knights behind us now as well. Yep, I hear the swords. And I'm just going to walk forwards. And do you know what the funny thing is as well? You can actually do this in a lot of VR games. I don't know why. Must be an Unreal thing. Or something. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Hang on. Pause game. Oh, well, hello. That's a good idea, actually. Very well done. I never think to look behind me. I'm just luring these guys out to... These are basically the pastures, gentlemen. So, carry on walking. But as a general rule, if you look away from the enemy and carry on holding that stick forward, they can't hit you. So, just don't turn to face them. Look at that. We've got a nice little procession. They've made the effort. They've come out. Come out to welcome their demonic emperor. It's in the story. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to construct some long-range headshots. Now, I wouldn't usually bring the abominations out because abominations are a small target at the best of times. And I don't want... You'd think having a target-rich environment would be a really good idea, but when you're trying to be precise, you'll just end up body-shotting things or missing completely. Having a bigger target to hit is better. Now, if memory serves, and as we know from the lore of the channel, it often doesn't, if memory serves, this should be about maximum distance for a headshot. So let's see if we can get some. You don't need to, Weebs. You don't need to. Because the scoring caps out. The scoring maxes out at about 1,200 points. So, memory time. 1606. Now, I don't know if you guys will be able to see much of them. You might be able to see some outlines or some misty shapes. In the Quest 3, haven't got a problem. It's a good tactic, Melissa. If you get swarmed, just walk away. So 1606. You can see that far or you can't. I don't even know. Oh, you can't. Oh, right. Okay, so you can't see them. You should see the numbers flash up. So, but yeah, so bear in mind that this configuration can change a little bit. But this is basically the distance for maximum headshotting scoring. And I have tested this because I've got a bit closer and found that it's like 100 points shy, and then got back to here and then tried to do it somewhere in between and got the same result. So 1606. Let's try and bag that knight. Now, what I want to do here is I want to aim way over his head and then start coming down with the shots. You've also got to take into consideration that they sway, don't you, sir? But I got a headshot there. And we can see that I was on 1606. And we're now on, what's that, 1606. So that was about 1,100 points. And then I'll probably get the... There might have been including the gold as well. I mean, I can hit that shot, but I don't think I'll get any more points for it. 2770. Because if you get too far away, well, they'll just despawn. Let's, maybe it was back here then. Again, I hate doing this. I can get far into the game, so I don't need to. But I do understand. Like, for instance, to give you an example, this is considered... This, basically, yeah. Archers can, if they've looked at you, strung an arrow, and fired whilst you are looking at them. If they teleport in behind you and you're walking away, you're safe. They won't notch that arrow and they won't fire. But yeah, we've all been hit in the back by Cupid arrows, so you know that that's a thing. But yes, they can. But hopefully I'll try and demonstrate something on Anibobs in a little minute as well. So that was like 1,100 and something. This is, as I said as well, if anybody is after the inconceivably long range headshot, Super Bright judge this exact distance inconceivable. You hit a headshot at this distance, you will trigger all 3 of the distance achievements. That is important because that adds, that accentuates the scaling that this does. Now, even I'm having trouble seeing them at this distance, but I can just about make them out through the mist. So there is an element that the processing power and the Quest 3-ness that we now have may be a factor, because if I get a little bit further back, they'll start despawning. I know you guys probably can't see that, but they've all now despawned here. And then if I come back forward again, they all respawn back in. So this is almost at despawning distance, which, yeah. Not a bad shout to despawn them, because they all go back to non-alert. Alright, let's fire really high. What were we saying? 2770. No. That's not it. Well, that was not a headshot. But again, we don't need to worry about body shots. God, I'm way too low. Damn. Don't need to worry about body shots because they do not... Well, as you can tell, we're still on 2770. I don't know if you can see the red numbers, but those do not score. That was way off. And this is why I don't like doing this, because you could be sat here all fucking day doing this, and I mean, I don't know, I don't think it makes it exciting. Fuck! Oh, well, he's gone. Right, next! Doesn't make an exciting stream, I don't think, but we're doing it for the numbers. Damn it. As I said, I have tested this before, and I think you'll find that where I was is the best place for you to hit the headshot and get, like, go in that, like, what is it? Oh, there it was. There, got it! There it was. That 10-meter distance is really fucking, makes it the difference between being able to see a bit of a misty outline to being able to see not a lot at all. So what are we saying? 2770. So that is 1,000... 2770. That's 1,500. Huh. Well, we got 158 from the night in gold. So, yeah, it's about 1,250, 1,300, I reckon, plus the gold. I think that's right. 27 goes to 42. I don't know, it was 2770, wasn't it? So, yeah, that was just about under 1,400. Well, you've got the numbers. It was 2770 and then 4268. So someone can tell me what that is. And then we need to less off like 156 gold. So, and then that'll give you the headshot. But that's max. You can't get any more for a headshot than that distance. And the difference between this shot and that shot, like, I can hit those heads reasonably well without hitting the body. Whereas going back there, I'll kill more enemies than it is worth, and I'll take more hit points off of them. So for the extra, what would that be? An extra 100 points by stepping back to there? Isn't worth it, because I should be able to bingo headshots from here reasonably well without hitting bodies, without costing life. The other thing to note as well is maximum range is probably about there, but then we're having to fire up as well, so you're having to arc your shots even more so. So yeah, fuck that. So here is where I would recommend to fire from. Oh, no, that is a good point, Weebs. I did, didn't I? I got 1 kill before the headshot. So, yeah, it probably is 1,250. I was wondering why the figures were a little bit off. It's going to be very difficult to test, though. Hang on. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Weebs. I was wondering why. I thought they put the fucking limit up for a minute there. Right, let's, But again, this is the other thing, is I shouldn't have a load of abominations stood around whilst I'm trying to do this. Best way to push an abomination off? Use your shield. Bye-bye. Oh, don't you go as well. Again, hello, Grison, and again, I try not to concentrate on the numbers, but more the results. So, oh, well, there you go. Can't do my example now. Everybody's fallen off. What a shame. They will respawn, and they'll actually respawn back to where they were. Yeah, I know. I can't... Because the thing is, if I rest in Sanctuary, they'll respawn. If I wait 3 minutes, they'll respawn. But they'll actually respawn to where they originally were placed. So they won't, like, respawn at the top. Oh, good jump. So, basically, without, I don't want to sit on, basically, I don't want to sit on that spire any longer trying to hit shots that are even out of my league. If I'm honest, I can get them, but the thing is, if it's out of my league to hit, then the likelihood is I am losing more points by doing that than I am gaining. So, but as I said, I think it's what last time I remember checking, it was 1,250 plus the gold. So if you're in that sort of like 1,000 to 1,200 point region plus the gold, that's where you want to be shooting them at if you really want to do that. There are people like Fangbanger who can regularly make those ridiculously long-range shots like I wasn't doing a very good job of doing. Not the extreme range, but what I said was inconceivable. And he'll sit there and take those shots all day. It'll take him about 3 hours to finish Purgatory, but he'll make every shot like that. And that's why I think he's got one of the highest scores for Purgatory, for Paradise Lost, for Abyss, and then for, like, Cycle 1. Because he's milking every single point. That's going to an extreme that even I wouldn't do. But, you know, if you can't get far in the game, then that's one of the ways that you can increase your points. Is it 1150? I thought it was 1250. Or maybe I'm thinking it's 1250 because of the gold on top of that. So, yeah, 1150 then it must be. Basically, the point to make is there is a point, and I was at it the first shots that I was taking, where the distance, and as Grison's saying as well, where the distance for points caps out. So any further back than that you are getting is just you're putting more effort in for the same amount of points. So, here is, yeah, 1 million on Cycle 1, I do believe he did. Oh, it does take for it. Yeah, like 3 hours to do fucking Purgatory. Can do it in like fucking 20 minutes. So, no, it does not. And that is unfortunately an exploit that you can make advantage of within the game. However, you can go to a lot of effort. I know because I do test these things. You can go to a lot of effort pushing those enemies off, but again, at the higher cycles, when it would be kind of, oh, bloody hell. Yeah, fuck me milking Cupids, Jesus. So, you can push them off, you can respawn them, you can do these things, and they would come back with full health. The problem is, it's not really within the spirit of the game. It takes a very long time to do, and most importantly, whilst you are pissing around trying to maneuver, you'll take hits. And you only get so many health, and only get so much healing and so much life. I'm quite adept at doing it all, and even I take damage. So, but here's a good one. This one's a lot more, I think this one's a lot more manageable. This is a good place to practice. I said about doing this earlier. So you get on this ledge and bring them over to here. One of the things that is also quite good to do, land here so that they start turning around and then jump up. And then if you take your shots from here, you'll be getting maybe an extra 100 points per shot. And then you can increase that a little bit more by getting back to here. Oh, no, they did patch that with Incubi. Actually. Oh, that was terrible. They did patch that because, again, that was a known about exploit as far as Incubi is concerned. Certain people that will be left unnamed made use of it to improve their position and leaderboard score, but let's see if it has been fixed now so it's no longer an exploit. As I said, I've spent a decent amount of time learning how to push enemies off of things, but as I say, not for the purposes of scoring as much for the purposes of testing as anything else. Let's pop a headshot on him so he has got no health left. And then shield. Bye-bye. You can actually still see the enemy, or I can see the enemy down there. He's still falling! There you go. I can actually see 2 enemies down there. So that probably means that the abominable... I've been yammering on for at least 3 minutes. Yeah, I can see 2 enemies down there. So I think what it then is there's like... Well, yeah, there's obviously some sort of bottom to that, and it's not Earth. So... Now that they're at the bottom of that, and the white one has taken some damage, let's go back. There was a time when it didn't used to record that loss of life, and you could basically score indefinitely off of those enemies by not killing them and doing headshots. But let us return. Did you not just see how shit a job I did of doing long-range shooting, Mel? And you want me to hit them ones? Fuck! I don't know. Probably? I don't think homing things... Ooh. Ooh, that might be worth testing. Good one, Mel. Let's have a look. Homing arrows might do the job. I think they'll disappear before they get close enough. But let's see. Thing is, even if they could take headshots and be scoring at those ranges, that would be the ridiculously major extreme of what I was talking about, because the points cap out. It'd be a really good example if it actually works. I might use that in future streams. I'd be able to go, look at that dude all the way down there. Now I'm going to headshot him. Look how many points I got. The same amount of points for here. I don't think arrows actually travel for that long. Because if you shoot an arrow, no, you can't hit yourself with these. I have tried. I do that in all archery games. If you fire an arrow directly up, I don't actually think it ever comes back down. And that's because it has too much flight time. There's only so much processing power that these games can have on, well, yeah, what is in essence a mobile phone. So... I don't think that one's come back down. Right, let's find that knight. So there should be a white knight somewhere around here with about a quarter health. Oh, there you go. So they have stopped that exploit with all enemies. It used to be... It was... I mean, you could kind of get some points out of it by doing it on Incubi at high cycles. But again... Knowing about exploits and then actually using exploits, that's 2 very different things. I've known about that for a very long time. I wouldn't use it because, well, yeah, I don't need to do that. It's a safe way to drum up a little bit of a score, but it is fucking mind-numbing. It really is. And at the stages that it would become useful, it might bag you a few more million over the course of hours to potentially days, but for no risk. So if you are of that ilk, you could have done it, but yeah, fuck that. I'd rather get further and die. See, the thing is, as well, the further you get into this, the more your score goes up anyway. Ah, fuck. You're not wrong. Someone remind me to do that if when we're back in Purgatory, to push one off the edge and I'll use a divine. Oh, we could try it in Paradise Lost, couldn't we? I'll do it in Paradise Lost. Anyway, right. I hate leaving holy armors in the shop. Right. We have the technology to work the room. So I do like showing examples of this off because this is where you should start learning to work the room. Winter's Bite is all you actually need. You don't need anything else. Yeah, someone remind me to push a knight. Can't do it with an archer, it'll have to be a knight, but someone remind me to do it in Paradise Lost, and we'll see if we can bingo one of them with Divine Sight. So, there are lots of ways to approach this, but the main emphasis is on we hit Anakim with a Winter's Bite. That Winter's Bite will do enough tick damage, regardless of where you hit him. At later cycles, you kind of need to hit the headshot to guarantee it. Will do him enough tick damage to summon the first 2 waves of archers. The waves of archers are always 1 more, so just wait for that tick damage to come in. Here we go. The first wave of archers is always +1 to the wave. So if it's wave 1, you'll get 2 archers of archers. If it is wave 2, you'll get 1, 2, 3 archers. On the next wave that we do, there will be... That's right! 4 archers. And it is worthwhile keeping track of these numbers and memory and things, because then you know, even if they are out of sight, how many you need to deal with until the next ones come along. So I would usually try and do that and tidy this corner up very quickly. Remember that once a monk has spawned in an archway, no more can spawn from that archway. I won't tire you again with the explanation, but it's because of the old In Death game and how this used to work. There used to be statues in the old In Death game. So from here I would fire another Winter's Bite into him. Note how I haven't hit a headshot yet either. If I was to hit a headshot right now, it will guarantee to stagger him because we've done enough damage to stagger him. That the stagger isn't what caused the monks to come out, but anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, as I said, the reason why it is... I lost some armor then. Hey, we're still armored up. Lovely. So that's your 4. And then at these lower cycles, you can get away with coming to here. And this is a great spot. I always call it Atlas's, LG's spot, Atlas's spot, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm aware that, is it Michael Paulak? I haven't spoken to him for ages, but I think he discovered that you could go in there. I think I've jumped in there by accident before, but never really used it. But it was LG that actually made use of it and refined a tactic around it, which we now know as part of the playbook, which is why I always refer to it as you know, the person that refined the technique as opposed to the person that, you know, found a glitch once. So, as I said, Michael Paulak found it, but LG made it useful. Anyway, let's get out of the way of that guy. And this is my little discovery that I made whilst I was doing all of these things, is that if you hold in a corner and teleport out, as long as you have Anakim's attention, more often than not, he will walk to where you were, as opposed to turning about face and coming to you. And the reason why I made a point of finding out how to manipulate Anakim this way is because, A, I figured it would make everybody's life a little bit easier, and B, nobody could tell me how Anakim works. Is it based on line of sight? If you if he's looking at you and you teleport out of his line of sight, does he just fucking wander around and bimble about like some fucking, you know, memory loss pensioner? No. He, like all the enemies in this game, as long as you are within the radius, they always have line of sight on you and they will always come towards you. Now, he's been a bit of a twat here because he hasn't gone directly into the corner. He stopped at the pillar. I should go and reset and try again, but same effect. If we hit him from a Winter's Bite here, this will spawn wave number 4, which has wave 4 plus 1, 5 archers within it. If we are standing right here, or it should do, might need another one. It's been a while. Oh, well, let's say it's part of the example. Remember as well, I'm slowing this down. I'd be absolutely leathering him with other arrows, namely normal arrows, whilst doing all of this process just to take more health off of him. But the point is, you want to stagger and control the waves. Putting another Winter's Bite in him now will summon the next. It's probably because I haven't been hitting headshots, I would imagine. Let's get into that corner. I'm still holding back on the control stick. I've got to wait for him to turn and face me. Sometimes, to be fair, a lot of the time you can get away with it. But I wait for him to turn and face and lock on and be heading towards me. I'm holding back on the control stick. And now I'll teleport into Atlas's alcove. And he should go, because he's not going to hit a pillar first, he should go right into that corner and then come straight up at us. Knight's waves are infinite, so he should turn and make it past that corner. So hopefully he's going to come to the right hand side. That's what we want. So that's another Winter's Bite. Again, remember, I'd be leathering him. Here comes the wave. If we are standing here, that little puff that went around my face was not me powdering my nose. No, 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 it's not Saturday. So that was basically the archer attempting to spawn in, and then basically me kind of reverse telefragging him, I guess. So he dies. Well, he doesn't even die, he just doesn't spawn into the world. So we've in essence killed one by being where he was. 2, 3, 4. Why is that important? We know there's one somewhere else. Why do I know that he's here? Show yourself! There you go. Why do I know he's here? Because that is the next closest alcove to me, the player, when Anakim was spawning him. That's why I know exactly where they're going to come. If I was to stand here and do... Oh, show you. If I was to stand here, we've done all of those ones, and all of those ones, and this one. We haven't done that one, those two, or any of them down there. So if I was to do enough damage to stagger him now, or, sorry, not enough damage to stagger him, that was a banked stagger. If I was to do enough damage to him now to spawn the last wave, one over there, one in this alcove, and then the other 2 will be round the side, because those alcoves are all closest to me in relation to the player. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Oh, well, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. 1, 2, 3. Now, you'll hear that they've already started teleporting out of their alcoves because I am close enough to engage, but out of line of sight. This isn't the way, same with that guy. And again, note how he teleported into my gaze as opposed to, you know, staying behind me and shooting me. Now, there's probably one in one of these alcoves. How many is that? 5? I think the other one might have teleported off somewhere. Hello. Have some ice on me. Yeah, so the other one's teleported off. So that last wave wasn't a particularly great example of how I would do it, because you're not really controlling things at that point. You just get letting things randomly spawn. You know where they are, but then it's not advantageous to you. The better place to spawn the last wave, if you followed that, is in here. Yes, you are surrounded, but if you make use of your slow time, you can slow time shoot, slow time shoot, slow time shoot, shoot, and then that is all of them on ice. You could then finish Anakim off, or take those archers out, and then you have basically stripped Anakim of his big old King Kong balls, because the only things that he's got left now are abominations that won't chase us if we are up high, and knights that, if they spawn far enough away from us, they won't be aggroed, so they won't come towards us. Like, for instance, that one has. If I kill him and get Anakim up here, and then get right up into this alcove, we'll probably see him spawn the knight over here, maybe? No, that's going to be too close. Bear in mind that the knights and the abominations spawn around Anakim. Abominations seem to be able to always see you and always head towards you. The same is not true of knights. Try and not clip past Anakim either, because that can more often than not get damaged. So look how we are in line of sight of that knight, but I don't know if you guys can see him. I'll hit him. But he's distracted. He wasn't looking at us. He was just staring at the wall like they usually do. And the reason being is he spawned far enough away from us to not be aggroed. We could have left him there, and then no more knights would spawn whilst we are dealing with old Annie-Bobs. So yeah, there you go. And then what you do is you do this over and over and over again at cycle 1 until you are comfortable. And then you step it up to cycle 2 where everything's a little bit faster and it's got a little bit more health. And the ratios start to change on Anakim as to when these things happen. And then to 3, and then to 4, and then to 5. What you don't do is start trying to enact this strategy at cycle 6 and 7 where burning him down with cataclysms will not work or becomes incredibly risky. You've got to learn it at a lower level to bring it up, and it's a natural process. The thing is, if you can be clean and clinical on the first cycle, then you can do it for at least the first 4 or 5, because there's not that much difference in health. It's when you get to the much later stages of this game is when you will need this. And then you can also supplement those tactics with Hand of God, because that can just slow Anakim's roll down and make it easier for you. And you... Thanks, Doc. Yeah, no worries, dude. Thank you very much for jumping in. So, the other thing to note with that as well is Hand of God. So, you've got Winter's Bite is your damage dealer. Because it basically, when he's at huge amounts of health, it takes huge amounts of health off of him. We have Hand of God for hitting him and putting him on slow time, or, worst case, slowing down the knights if they're, like, getting in your face. And then the reason why you would, at an earlier stage of your IDU path, I suppose, you'd use Cat 5, is so that you can disrupt, put the game into forced slow time, and do a lot of damage. Later on, you change Cataclysm 5 out for Volley 5, and the reason being is, as I've shown you with Orph Annihilation and getting really close with these 5 stack arrows, if you are really close, you put them all in your face. The most amount of damage that you can do with a special arrow in this game is Volley 5. Right in the face, right next to him, and it's in like the 4.5 to 5,000s. Wildfire 5 comes in at a close second. And it also has Burning Tick damage, which does a standard amount, so it doesn't scale, so that's not very good. But the big... Yes, I am going to do a push. Thank you, Wibbs. The other big thing as well, though, between why Wildfire 5 and Volley 5, because even DS5 does a lot of... Let's go and have a look how much DS5 does. I think it does something comparable. Oops. Damn it. You! No, that's not close enough. So, I think, yeah, with Volley 5 with the bow... With Volley 5 with the bow, it's 3,000 and something. And on the crossbow, I think it's close to 5,000. Or something along those lines. Oh, right, yeah. Thanks, Fawn. Yeah, remind me on the... God, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I've got so much to show off. Can't... Well, you know... Kids in candy shops can at least remember that they're there for fucking candy. Right, I'll try. Remind me again, Ray, and I will show it off. Right, let's get... This is what Divine Sight ×5 is good for. Just... You know, you thought You thought Tempest was good? Yeah, Divine Sight is better for what you're trying to do if you're using Tempest still. But again, all of those were body shots, no headshots. So you can get headshots with DS5. There isn't really a rhyme or reason to it. And believe me, I've tried. It comes down to kind of the enemy's position and their movement when you fire and whilst you're firing. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. That is good for tournaments where you're trying to be fast and you just have to hope that you get good RNG in that basis. For scoring within the main run, though, that is no good to us because we know that we can hit certain headshots each time and every time. I'm going to have to find somewhere. Ooh, I can push them off that ledge. That'll do. Right, let's tidy these up because we're going to leave anything alive in a level to spread my tale of dread. It will be probably the orphan through no fault of it. Right, let's go and push a knight. Hopefully there's some knights in here. Good. Well, hot dog, we have a candidate. If we come to the end here, he should walk out to the end and then start doing his axe throw game. And then I'm going to Captain America him. That's the easiest way I found to push enemies off. So you can even push Anakim. Oh, I have done. You can push Anakim into some very strange places. But yeah, holding the shield out in front of you to basically extend the player hitbox will allow you to do it. Now the difference here is there's more mist in Paradise Lost than there is in Purgatory, and I can't actually see him. I used to see a little black speck. Oh, actually, no. Oh, I don't know if that is him or not. Let's find out. I think they'll disappear before. Yeah. Yeah, so I think... See, that was a headshot, and that would have got us full headshot points using a special arrow. That's good, but they don't always do that. I've tried aiming off, aiming round, flicking, all sorts to try and get it to happen. And it's just a simple factor of sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But you can see, because they're still going, and then they just disappear. So the likelihood is then, around the world is a point where the arrow counts as a miss. Because I'm sure there's plenty of you that will tell me, oh, I got hit in Fletcher, I didn't miss. No, what you probably did is you fired an arrow over there, and it takes a while to leave the world and class as a miss. It's probably what they use to you know, determine whether you have missed or whatnot. But if you ever take a hit from, you know, that bam from Fletcher, it's probably because you did miss an arrow and it is still fucking traveling. It only actually does the damage when it finishes doing the travelling. So, right. What else? We can do Wrath, won't we? We can do Wrath for Ray. I won't use it here because this isn't a great example. I know where I want... Oh, actually, no. I know a good place. I know a good place. Right. Let's stop being lazy. How's the syncing for the arrows and the headshots, ladies and gents? Is it still working, or has it fallen out of favour? It's fine for me, but I don't know what the stream's like. And as we know with these streams in VR, the longer they go on, the more it gets out of sync, unfortunately, regardless of what I try and do to counter it. You first. And then... So note how I'm getting two... Ooh, I could show something else off as well. I'm getting two headshots out of that. Hey, you know, I was going to show you... Got some testing to do here, actually. Why not, eh? So you know how I was going to show you how the headshot hitbox just fucking disappears. Well, hail of arrows. That's our boy. You're on some very fucking thin ice, aren't you? You're like on your tiptoes. Any danger? No? Cool. Another one bites the dust. I said, because as I said, I've known about that for a long time, and I think what should happen is if they fall off, they should die. They should be dead. And you might think like, oh, well, hang on a second, couldn't that be used as an exploit at higher levels, you know, for killing really tough enemies? It's like, well, yeah, but you're not going to score any points out of launching them. But I think that'd be quite good. That would be the easiest way to solve it, that they don't respawn, you just lose out on the points. In fact, I don't really see why they allowed them to respawn. But again, as I was saying with Weeble earlier... Oh, you won't be up there. As I was saying to Weebs... Hey, Kin. As I was saying to... Weebs... you can catch them on the way down, but... yeah, the DS5 thing won't work. If you don't let them get too far down, you can catch them. But yeah, as I was saying to Weebs earlier, that's another kind of like thing that's hard-coded within the game and part of the game, and probably part of the reason why it's never been addressed is because it can't be addressed because it's fundamental to the mechanics of the game, you know? An enemy leaves the zone for whatever reason, it respawns back in, and they won't be able to change that because it'll be like, you know, part of the hard code. Right, let's see. These aren't. I know where I want. I want the dance floor. I want the party room. That's the best place to show Wrath off. This'll do though. So most people fire Wrath like this. Now note how that did 1 tick of damage on each of those guys. It has taken a fair amount of health off, but you know, if I'm going to have a special arrow, I need it to either fucking kill or have some effect, because otherwise you get all that return fire. Also note, that was body shot hits that they're doing, not headshot hits, so it didn't kill, so it's just taking HP off and not rewarding me with any points. Now, let me try and show you how to use Wrath properly. And it's, I mean, you can't use it properly with the crossbow. It's just not very good with the crossbow. Because it's even worse. The crossbow, the bolt would travel even faster. The way that Wrath works is, whilst it is in the air, everything that is within its area of effect takes a pulse. So in that circumstance, the longer the arrow is in the air, the more pulses it gets to fire off, and each pulse does something like 300 damage. So the way that you want to use a Wrath, say there was loads of enemies here, is basically like that. So that you get that arcing and all that hang time. And ideally, the next best thing that you can do is that shot arcs and buries itself into something, which gives it a little bit more hang time. For some reason as well, orphans seem to be quite good targets for sticking a Wrath with. The arrow seems to last longer within them, but let me try and give you an example. So as you can tell, me doing this in somewhere like here isn't very good because we've got the problem of the roof. No, that was rubbish. But see how that got like 3 pulses? So it does pulses of damage during its airtime, and then you may get some pulses out of it as it lands as well. But I find that if you land it in something, it'll do more pulses. Ooh, lucky headshots. Lovely. I'll try and get on the down. So we've seen what shooting it past does to like a crowded room. But this is the essence of it, is you don't want a ceiling where you are firing it. You want it to be open, or quite open. Have we got some? Oh, that'll do us nicely. It's not quite dance floor material. Let's see if I can group them up a little bit as well. But yeah, so what we'd want to do here, these, I mean, to be fair, these are tougher enemies than archers. And note if I do a little one of those, that's completely killed that witch, and it's still going as well. Oh, I took some damage then. Damn you, witches! Bloody banshees. But look how much damage that has done. Now, banshees have probably about double. Well, maybe not double. Maybe 3/4 again of an archer. So you can see how much damage that did. Now, that arrow we do kind of need. But I'd be putting it in the wrong slot. Okay, here's the thing. Where's he off? Oh, and I've also got to check my battery. Battery checked. Good. Orphan's up now. Right, we'll come back for that volley 5 because that's part of the quiver that I am going to need to get far. But here, check this out. See how that second one went straight through him? Oh, I'm going to lose armor at this rate, aren't I? Let's not... I mean, it doesn't matter at this stage, but it's still annoying to lose, and I'm not getting value out of it. I'll try and demonstrate on a knight. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow time whilst doing Hail of Arrows. You can land them all. That was good of you to despawn. Note how that knight hasn't hit me, even though he was behind me. I haven't taken any damage. I was actually standing still on that one. And so, as Doc said, just sauntering away. No shit's given. Although, don't take my armor off me, somebody else. Right, that's the, that's you dealt with. Right, so, let's do a bit of cornering to get this guy in position. I've been testing this with the crossbow with some reasonably sexy results, and it's a lot easier. So what Hail of Arrows does is we fire one. Oops. We fire one. 1, 2, 3. Now, I used this to great success within the first tournament that I played that made me famous. As in infamous. And it's a lot easier to do with the crossbow than it is with the bow. I've known about, like, the... I mean, I suppose it's kind of a point scoring exploit, but it's not... It wasn't worthy, or it wasn't as good in comparison to Barrage of Needles when you had time. But it still does exist within the game, but it's just... Yeah, it's not worth... I mean, well, I don't know. I'm still out to town on that as to whether it's worth doing or not. I don't think it is with the bow, but with the crossbow, definitely. But anyway, let's corner a guy. Note as well, the faster the enemy, the further past the corner they will usually go. But what I'm hoping to do... Actually, no, you girls are better for me to show it off on. Good hit, sir. Let's kill you a second. Look at that. Those were definitely in. Definitely. Look, they're right where his head was. Stagger you, and then 1. That's her head. You can see the trail. And then 1. That one goes... Oh, no. Oh, you need a full health one. Hang on a second. Can I have a full health Banshee, please? I want super bright spawn me one. Where have you gone? Shouldn't have lost my sexy holy armor. Pissing about, but that's what we do. So it seems to be on Banshees worse, but it is on all enemies. And it's basically a combination of slow timing and firing your headshots off too quick. Everyone's had instances where they think they've hit a shot. Like, look at that, close range. Again, something I've been noticing with the crossbow and bow with certain arrows that I've been using, and how properties become reversed and changed. Let's see if we can do it on you. 1, 2. Interesting. But yeah, said thing that I'm playing around with wouldn't be any good on the... Ooh, I was lucky. On the bow. What I was trying to show off... you're just not going to let me, are you? That was over his head. Oh. Can you just fucking point that somewhere else? Fuck's sake. I'm trying to not lose armor here. Fucking hell. Do you know how many times I've died whilst trying to put good scores together when I have an idea and start dicking about? And I can't even blame you lot because you're not there. I lost so many runs to just, oh, I wonder if I can just, oh, that would be a good idea. Oh, I wonder if that works. But then, you know. I'll make those omelets. Right, so what I was going to try and show off is... That's a headshot. That's a headshot. But no, that went straight through. And so, as I said, what I think happens is during their stagger animations, the hitbox on some of them changes. And also, if you fire too fast, including the use of slow time, you become yourself a cropper. But yeah, this is the way that you should be using your Wrath of Gods, because they have got quite a massive radius. And part of the problem with Wrath of God is if they do one pulse, if they get one pulse at cycle 1 off, that's usually enough to pretty much kill anything that could give you troubles, with I suppose the exception of Black Knights. And usually you'll get 2 pulses off. If you can up those numbers so that you're getting 3, 4, 5 pulses off, then, you know, you can make Wrath last longer or be more of a valuable arrow for longer. However, like with many things in Death Unchained, Wrath of God, if you are looking at scoring, or if you are looking at longevity and looking at those higher cycles, all of a sudden it's like, hang on, Wrath is not doing anything that I can't do myself. It's also taking points away. It's also not doing enough damage. And fucking 17? Still, best thing that you can get for... When you're dealing with Cupids, just firing it out across the level is great, because it just fucking absolutely executes everything that it flies past. But even then, you'd still want the... With Cupids, it doesn't matter. Cupids, you can kind of just aim it in their vicinity and let fly, because it'll pulse as it goes past them. A Cupid is not going to take anything more than 1 pulse until you get to, say, I don't know, cycle 16, 17. Then they like start taking more than 1 arrow to kill, which is, well, more than 1 body shot to kill anyway. That was the armour we lost, wasn't it? Anyway, right, let's clean up this level and then we'll go and have a look in the shop. And oh, I've got to go back and get that volley 5 as well. Hail of Arrows, not usually a good arrow, but as I said, it's that, and to a lesser extent... Oh, you little shit. There goes another... I actually felt that one. But yeah, I don't know if... guess what, guys? I just lost a Holy Armor. Didn't even see it. Because Holy Armor doesn't do that. Although they do... I did feel the vibration of that, but... That's because a vibration happened, and I didn't know why. Stop pissing about here and get this finished up. So yeah, Wrath here, I mean, I'd still try and give it one of those. So just for the purposes of trying to KO the Banshees. Because as I said, that, you know, that one Banshee there would have had... probably close to 1,000 health. Prick. You? But again, this is what Wrath helps you out for as well, is it's even better for somebody who is beginning than Tempest, because you don't even really need to aim in the... like... If Tempest is in the general vicinity, like, you know, Wrath of God is in the same ballpark as, you know, you can get a lot done with Wrath of God. That wasn't even anywhere near him and it still killed it, so... And it takes out those enemies reliably and reasonably effectively. The only problem with Wrath of God is, as Von knows, is you have to actually be able to kill Asmodeus to get it. And the real big bind of that is because Asmodeus can be a fucking tough cat to take down. And the real bind with that is Wrath of God is one of the best arrows for taking Asmodeus down. You can use Wrath of God at all stages to make him like triflingly easy. I'll see, for the purposes of that, I'll see if I can get a quiver. There was a quiver somewhere, wasn't there? Memory. I'm going to have to get a bit higher. This is one of the few places of the game where the distance is a little bit off, because you're supposed to be able to go back. But this one's a little bit of a shit to make that shot. Bastard. Right, let's get rid of you before you get me whilst I'm pissing about. Perfect. So one of the ways that you can make, because I'm sure people have been here and can't be bothered going through, or haven't got the time to go through and whatnot. One of the things that we can do, I think I showed you guys the airwalk last time. But so I'm standing on a ledge now, and I've positioned myself within my room so I've got the longest stretch in front of me, and we're just going to walk out. And then we're going to 180 in real life, and then if you press down on the D-pad, it 180s you in the game, and then you're set to go again. And then turn and down. Walk. Turn and down. And if you want to see what I'm doing in real life, so we walk, turn, and then you press down on the D-pad, and then walk, turn, and then down on the D-pad. And that is one way to get your steps in. And as long as you don't teleport to anywhere, you can't use the movement stick at this point either. As long as you don't teleport to anywhere. This is good for getting you out of glitches that you, like, if you teleport to somewhere and you can't get back out of it again, because that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to pretty much get anywhere and not get trapped with your teleport arrows. If you were supposed to be trapped, then they should kill you. You shouldn't be left in limbo in a game not being able to do anything. So as I said, I'm walking in my play space. I'm then 180 to turn back in my real play space, so I've got my walking in front of me, and then you can either snap turn or smooth turn to where you're facing, or you can just press down on the D-pad to 180 on the right thumbstick, that is, and then walk back. And then what all of this has done is this has got us closer to that edge so that we can actually teleport here, because you're supposed to be able to. The islands are supposed to be close enough that you can teleport back and forward between them, but for some reason that one just isn't. Is that the quiver that we're looking for? No. Yeah, it does happen. It shouldn't, but it's because there's like janky little bits of geometry all over the place, Ray, that have like either been left or haven't been accommodated for. If this is the right level, I can probably show you one in a minute. Let me just have a quick look for this quiver, because my memory is shocking. One of the things that you can do as well, because a lot of the times oh look who's back. So as you can see, they do respawn. We haven't left the game and saved and quit or anything. We just basically yammered around for, I think I timed it last at like 2.5 or 3 minutes. It's part of the reason why I think this happens, that Banshees are one of the most promiscuous enemies in the game, in that they get around, right? So they do a lot of walking, they do a lot of patrolling, and what I think happens is they like kind of bunch up and then fall off of the level, and then when we come back they've respawned, and that's why they're here. I can't really test that much, because there's times when that isn't what happened, but there's Banshees in an area that I've cleared. I think it's something to do with the fact that they're like a teleporting enemy. Well, actually, no, I don't know what it's to do with. Let's just say it's because they're promiscuous and they fall off things a lot. Like a good lady should do. Promiscuous and falls off things a lot. There you go. Silver Tongue Devil 2024. Ladies, man. Oh, dear. Slap. Right. Well, I thought there was a quiver, but clearly memory is never on my side. Let's have a look in the shop. That's the quiver I was remembering. Can't even remember if I've been here. Can't even remember if that's memory or sheer luck. Right. So, right, we have our Wraths of God now. So, yeah, let me... If we can get as far... How long we got left? I do feel like I've been talking longer than the average bear. If we can get to Asmo... Hello, Travis. If we can get to Asmo... Probably. I don't know. I don't know, Travis. My basis is my basis has always been Beanie. There you go. Easily lost. Easily. If I can keep hold of Wrath of God, because if I see a Hand of God, it lives in that slot, and Hand of God comes up rarely enough that I'd want to make sure I've got it, so I'm set and secure within things. Oh, we lost another early on. Oh, well. Too much dicking about. Right, I'm not going to piss around with this guy. I'll just get Gabriel done nice and quick, sharp. But again, another boss that Hand of God can really help out on as well. It can basically bubble him when he's really far away. And I mean, you can get off. You can rain in the headshots on him at this distance anyway, because like an incubi, he's got quite a big squeed. Except it doesn't stagger him. Obviously, you're getting less points here and doing less damage. Note as well, I'm slow timing between my shots. Just try and buy me more headshot time. And if I was really playing for points, I would only attack him if he was really far back, but I'm playing for speed. Actually, time that. So another thing to note as well, full draw and like less than... Ooh, I thought we'd already had the Titans. Full draw is where you will score maximum points. You can bring the arrow back to about 75% and still get full points. Anything less than that and you will lose points. And the reason being is a legend of IDU, for the right, found that you could do this. Basically, on enemies, for maximum headshot points, yet minimum damage to the enemy. So he would then, you know, get up to like cycle 5 or 6, just do this to everything, and get millions of points off them. Great times. Great times. Anyway, so Titan will get our health up to the maximum of 12. Once you, at the stage that I'm at in the game, where you start off with 11 health and an armor, we've lost some. There's two ways that you can get up to the maximum 12 health. Find a Titan or start the game with Unusual Fortitude. Now, if we can find the Titan and get up to 12, that then means that Unusual Fortitude becomes fucking useless, because Unusual Fortitude is doing something that should naturally happen during our run. And one life on top of another 11 doesn't make that big a difference. And again, this is my other argument as why most of the other amulets within the game are garbage, because they don't do anything special for us that we can't already get in the game. With the exception of Blessed Quiver, gives us more arrows for a particular slot, and to a lesser extent Anakim's Floor. But then that kind of goes against us, because the one boss that you're using Anakim's Floor on, like, this is useful on all bosses. Anakim's Floor is only useful on one. If you are doing huge amounts of damage to Anakim at those high cycles when you need to be, you'll be doing it with Winter's Bite. How is Winter's Bite calculated damage-wise? Based on the enemy's current health. If you use something to reduce that, these will be less effective. And so Anakim's Floor, with the amount of percentage that it reduces it by, basically cancel themselves out through the Winter's Bite technique. So, Anakim's floor, basically shit. Unless you are going up against him and not using Winter's Bite, it's no good. So, there you go. And for those wondering how much it is, again, it's something that I need to retest. But last time I checked, it was like 22, I'm inclined to say. 22%. And then I've had the conversation with Elite Jonathan that we thought it might be like 22% off of his base health, so it doesn't even scale well in later cycles of the game. I think it was put in there to help people get past that initial Anakim if you're really struggling, and then you pick up the Anakim's advance, but it doesn't do enough on the first one to justify it even then, I don't think so. Right, let's get some work done. Hello, Buck. What are you doing? I was talking about you earlier. You've got Mannequin, haven't you? Thinking we do a Dungeons of Eternity stream on Saturday, and then potentially, whoa, that one was close, wasn't it? I was thinking we'd probably do Dungeons of Eternity on Saturday. I'll continue this run next week, Wednesday, and then maybe see about getting on Mannequin on the Saturday. But just because of how the lobbies work, and it not being a full cooperative game, it's I don't know how it will do in the streaming side of things. For those of you who don't know what Mannequin is, I have played the beta, and I wouldn't say extensively. It's how I met Buck, and it's a really good game. It's you either play as a team of soldiers / scientists fighting or like trying to track down and hunt down a group of aliens that can mimic all the humans around them, but the kicker is that they've kind of frozen time and space so that all the humans around them are frozen. And the reason why it's called Mannequin is you can put yourself in a pose with the intent of trying to look like the frozen humans around you. Probably not doing it any justice. I think I made the game sound very boring. It's not. It's really good. Really good, really well done. They've added an extra map, or maybe even 2, from when I played last. And yeah, it's really quite cool. And it's one of those games as well where the humans, for a change, start out with the advantage, but then the longer the game goes on and the more the aliens can do, the kind of advantage swings to them. But it can also swing back as well through various ways and means and things that you can do. Oh, another quiver. Well, I'm full, mate. I mean, do you want to go in my backpack? That'd be good, wouldn't it? I have heard it said many times as well on various forums, like, oh, all those Bloods of the Lambs, all those armors that I don't need, all those quivers. Give us a backpack, Super Bright. It's like, no, that's not how this works. You've got a quiver of 5 already, or a quiver of 4 already, and you can already hold 12 health, 3 armor. You don't need to be carrying more around with you. Otherwise, those people that can get to, like, in the main game, cycle 25, 30, yeah, it'd be child's play at that point, because they'd have everything that they need at all times. That's not what a good roguelike is about. But yeah, I'd like to see about doing a little something on Anakim at some point, but I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, chap, I think it's just me and Buck that's got it, so... Yeah, that's probably a better description. Well done, Buck. Look, right, I got an excuse. I'm shooting arrows at shit. But yeah, prop hunt, but with a twist, I'd say. And it is definitely something that we needed was a good prop hunt style game. I know Pavlov had prop hunt, but it wasn't concentrated on it. I don't think it was done particularly well. Maybe on PCVR, but it wasn't done very well for native. Oh, that's... Yeah, but you don't want a 2v2, though, do you? Because it's 2v... It's still 2v3, isn't it? With the aliens having 3 players, right? But, yeah. That could be a giggle if we've got enough people who've got it. And if we haven't, I'm sure I can put a crack team of experts together. Oh, can you now? Oh, well, how have they balanced that then? How have they balanced the 2v2 in the aliens' favour then? Have they made them like start off with the extra hit to begin with or something? Or that I didn't know actually. That's one less. Oh right, they haven't balanced it. You just can do it that way. Is that what you're saying? Oh, well, challenge on then, isn't it? Barely played the game since the beta. Loads has changed. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, that does change things, Buck. If I could have 4 people in chat as aliens hunting me on solo, now that would be interesting. Probably not for me. That definitely changes things. It really does. So could you do 4 humans versus 1 alien as well? I know that's so unfair, but could be quite funny, I guess. 1 human for each capture point. I suppose we're talking to the same guy who tries his hand taking on chat in 3v1s in a fighting game. Oh, you shit. This is why I hate shields. Didn't even register. Look at this. Look at it. Fucking stupid shields. But yeah, that's a pretty... Like, I usually, like, swipe my shield down and kind of... I'll show you, actually. Try not to tow the lava. I usually do either this sweep or, like, a downward. And the reason being is it blocks and it hits them. It's quite ineffective, but sometimes it just fucking misses. Because that then, well, if he hits and block and stun, but not so much. No. God, you hit me again. What a prick. No, I played the beta not as much as I would have liked to. I kind of ran out of time, but found some bugs and gave some feedback and did some bits and pieces. But yeah, I'm the same. I've got another... I think I'm up to level 52, so I've got another 8 levels to get. And until you get those 8 levels, you don't want to be paying too much attention to the weaponry that you find in chests, because it all scales, and I want to be at level 60. So yeah, I haven't. I think I've turned it on once since I've had it, but as I say, I've got a. Oh, there's a free trial. What, for Anakim? That's interesting. See, like, what I'd like to do in that sort of circumstance then as well is, if it is a free trial, then that would definitely be worth doing, because then anyone could jump in and just come play the multiplayer and dick about. And if I could do a giveaway for those people that like it, wow. That might be worth having a look at. Maybe I'll have a word with the devs. But yeah, that'll definitely be at least a week or so away. See if we can scrounge some keys up for a bit of coverage. See what they say. I mean, I helped out in the beta and everything. Don't you know who I am? I'll give him a shout. So again, worth constructing the headshot on. speed. I'd like to show off Wrath of God versus what's his face? Because it's the one use that Wrath has always got. Yes, I have. Is that coming to Quest? Please tell me that's coming to Quest. I would fucking love to play that against you lot. All of my chat running around being little scamps and then get fucking slammed. Fucking Weebs has already won one. By just default. There you go. Because it's Weebs. Oh, you fucking what? I've looked. Ah, brilliant. I've looked at that game for a long time. Thank you, Buck. That I'm going to have a look at. I like... How much is it in the App Lab, or is it free at the moment? We're doing that next Saturday, if that's the case. I would love to squash you lot. That'd be amazing. Have to learn how to play it properly first, but, you know. Oh, I could get Indy in. We could torment Indy as the... So, for those of you who don't know... Oh, that's fucking... Oh, what's that? 18, 19 quid? How does it work then in VR? Is it... 18.99. Okay. Ah. Okay. And how many players is it? One giant and how many little uns? Yeah, Indy's a no-go if it's got puzzles. So, basically, the premise of... what's it called? It's Davigo, isn't it? Or Davigo? I know which game he's talking of, but... yeah, Davigo. I don't know how you pronounce that. Davigo? So, basically, one player is a huge giant, and then the other players are little people, and the giant's got to squash the little people whilst they're all running amok. With I mean, it's a little bit more intense than that. There's various weapons that the giant can use. And then the little people, I'd imagine it'll be sort of like a... Yeah, I would imagine... I mean, I don't know. It's not a massively overly graphic game, is it? So, but basically, it's kind of like a little bit of a David versus Goliath on a huge scale. Can't the little players be controlled? Ah, okay. David and Goliath, yeah. Ah, so, okay, I could have you guys on your PCs. Oh, yeah, no, Shuey. No, but the thing is, like, so, I didn't know if they've brought it to the Quest, if that's just the VR side of it, because it's basically a VR versus, well, PC and I would imagine soon console players. And so the little people are running around, kind of like that Acorn game that's on at the moment, where some players play on the phone against a giant tree who's controlled in VR by someone with a VR headset. So, I don't know, how does that sound? How many of you have got PCs? If anyone's got a PC or knows what a PC is, maybe we could see about doing that. So, yeah. Have you lot against me? That could be fun, couldn't it? Ruin my fucking day. Little bastards in the yard. Get to pick you up and throw you away like soggy tissues. As per normal, right? Battery changed. And yeah, that's quite cool. I don't mind buying that if it then means that I can play with all of you because it's free. That would be quite funny. And then that's kind of that perfect homage game that I need that, you know, fucking blurs the boundaries between VR and flat screen. Hey! Stop it! Ooh, DS5. It'd be strange if you couldn't, wouldn't it? But yeah, if it's for what that game is, if I remember rightly, the maximum player count was like 7. Team we can exploit some points out of. What, Acorn or Davigo? Acorn's a good laugh. Played a little bit of that with my kids. Nowhere near as much as I should, but I don't know, they don't really play platformers. They're Minecrafty types. They don't want to run around as squirrels and be fucking destroyed by their father at computer games. Because my girls get no, even if they were boys, they would get no sympathy, no quarter. You learn, and you learn hard in my world. That's how I taught my brother to get good at computer games, by absolutely destroying him on everything for years till he got good. There's a lot of you. There's only one of me. Not particularly fair, is it? This is why not only is it a good damaging arrow. Hey! Trying to... Oh, don't you start! Fuck's sake. So this is why it is incredibly good. Hand of God, I think, is probably better. Because obviously, you know, you could get a similar sort of effect with just one. But this is why it's a very good arrow, because you can just freeze things indiscriminately. It's not too bad for points, because then you can quite easily concentrate on the headshots as well. But what you've also got to remember is, as that Winter's Bite is doing damage, that is life that you could be scoring from. So, ooh, double quiver. Good. Right, let's see if we can get some points out of you. Now, these guys will always teleport about the place. This we know. Is there any about? I can't remember. Probably. They won't go too far past this area. That'll probably do us. So, we should be able to get the full sort of like 1250 out of this guy, and you'll note that as we're getting headshots on him, he's getting further and further away, just kind of guaranteeing that we're getting maximum points out of him. And one for luck. And that's like, you know, even I'm consistent with my garbage accuracy. Even I'm consistent on those long-range incubi headshots, and it's because their heads are fucking huge, and the hitbox is probably bigger than it actually should be, or at least it feels like that at times. Did we? I can't remember seeing any Blood of the Lambs. I was just fucking... No, there was definitely one, because I was complaining about it earlier, wasn't I? Or saying about the whole backpack thing. There's one! Aha! Fuck you, memory. Where were you again? Aha. But yeah, that could be quite a funny one. I'll have to see about picking that up and playing that a little. God, I might even be able to get Indy to play with us, because it'd be on flat. You know, and he doesn't have to go through all of that rigmarole of putting his VR headset on and not playing Showdown. Right. Do we actually need any of those? Again, this is a waste. What you should do is, like, make use of them until you're down to low. Or at the very least, in this circumstance, go and complete the pit first before you start restocking these, because you might find yourself using them in the pit. However, Lazy Boy is as Lazy Boy does. I just won't use any of them. And then we don't have to come back. And then we can just advance a little bit quicker. So, how are we doing points-wise? So we're at the 1,000,000 mark. So we're doing a little better than what we were doing scoring-wise at this stage in Cycle 1. And that's just because of those extra headshots. Oh, no! No! Does anybody really want to see Wrath of God against Asmodeus? You don't really, do you? I hate giving up on taking a Hand of God. I could show off so much. So much. It's right there. Does anybody need a tutorial on Asmo and how good Wrath is against him? You don't, do you? No, you don't. Well, I'll leave you to ponder that question, but if I don't hear anyone go, oh, I need to see it, then I'm getting hands. I mean, to be fair, getting Hand of God at this earlier stage would... Well, I know that, Von. I do wonder... Because it's one of the things that I would like to show off, because obviously I've had... I can't remember who was... No. The Hand of God, though! I know some people... I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Grizzin. It wasn't Bug. I can't remember who it was. But someone was saying, like, oh, I can't be bothered going through... You know, I've been playing for years and I still haven't got Hand of God unlocked and I can't be bothered doing it. And it's like, you should. It's that good. Well, that's not ruining my fun. Hello, Meg. How are we doing? See, like, I know Meg doesn't need to know how to kill Asmodeus with Wrath of God, so she'd let me pick up Hand of God at this stage. Why did I put it in that one? I've almost got my quiver complete, chat. God. No, I will show it off. Well, there you go. I'll be able to rue the day that chat spoke. If I go another, like, 4 or 5 cycles and don't get a Hand of God, I am going to be pissed. Ooh. We got a win live the other day, Meg, with 4 of us. It felt like an exploit, though. It really did. There was no one guarding the helicopter because we left somebody behind. We left a sniper behind and everybody spawned near him and none spawned near us. So we just snuck onto the helicopter. That's what Wrath of God is for, and that's that arc. And that has completely obliterated those few enemies that were down there. If I'd have fired that full strength and down there, then, yeah, that wouldn't have been any good. It would have whizzed past all of them and maybe done them 1 tap each, as opposed to the 2 or 3 that it did there. And again. See all those extra pulses that it's getting as well? And that's by... Because most people would go and, like, really launch it, thinking that that's what you're supposed to do, but no, that's the way. Thanks, Farm. I think it wasn't that long since we've got loads of quivers. Do need the health. Yeah, we do. Yay. Let's make this quick then, if I have to use it. Here's a good room. Hey. So it's like half damage to a cycle. Those weren't my arrows. That's one of your buddies in that room. This guy. This guy. Right. With friends like those. Okay. Be lazy again for the lazy. Ooh, where's the... Oh, it'll be down there? We haven't seen the pit yet. It can only be down there. Sure we haven't seen the pit yet, unless I missed an underground section. Oh, fuck's sake. I have to go back now. Because we do need that pit, because it's all... Oh, hang on. No, I've already done the pit, haven't I? Jesus, this is how bad it is. It really is. Pits should be memorable at this stage. I did do the pit, right? I mean, it would explain why the score's not looking too bad. Yeah, no, it's very... Some of the screams in this are very, very into the radius. Or rather, some of the screams... Right, well, yeah, you're not going to know. Ooh. Let's get that orphan. Planting her with one and letting her run is alright, but I do find that used to last a lot longer. It's a headshot. No, see, even that doesn't last very long. Very good. Ooh, good to see you. Pretty juicy if I have the time, if I'm honest, Travis. I'm nowhere on it at the moment. Yep. Oh, and that landed in one as well. But even then, that was quite a shallow arc. See how it didn't really do a lot of damage to a comparably weak enemy, I suppose. So here's one of the ways for you to up your score. See all those dudes out on the edge? Ah! Ah, perfect, isn't it? Just fucking perfect. Ooh, don't pick up Hand of God. We want to see red. Right. We can probably get higher. So as I said, height is the factor. And will determine... Oh, can you not get on that anymore? Oh, come on. There we go. Doing a lot lower. So height is the factor when going for these headshots. And don't think... No, they will react. But I should be far enough away that they're not going to throw anything at me. Basically, there is a Knights Union out there, for those of you who don't know. And, you know, every axe needs to be accounted for when they throw them. And if you're too far out of range, or they can't see enough of the hitbox, well, they're like, nah, we ain't wasting the axes on you, prick. So, good news for me. Hopefully some easy headshots. The only problem with an angle like this is a lot of the time... It kind of, right, it kind of makes the head quite difficult to hit because it's, like, you haven't got a lot, this is real bad, you haven't got a lot to play with and you can quite easily miss it and get the shoulders. I'm not doing a very good job here. There we go. But notice how I'm getting a couple of body shots, then followed by a headshot. If I could hit the headshot first time, and this isn't an easy... this isn't an easy angle for it. But if I could hit the headshot first time, I could probably milk each of those for 2. Now, bear in mind, each of those shots is probably worth about 1,000 points. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but if you take every opportunity to try and get as far away from your opponents as possible, within reason, and try and score well, then, you know, you'll get further into the game and find that you have a much better score than usual. This is how you break personal bests. This is how... You're not even trying. I don't even need to dodge. This is how you break personal bests, and this is how you get a better score. Are you trying? No. This is how you get a better score each time. And in the early days, it's about milking as many points as you can out of these early cycles. But then, as you progress, you'll find that you don't need to do that as much because you know that you can get far. And when you get far, like, you know, I've got 2 headshots. Yeah, should have got a third out of him. And again, we could retreat a bit higher so they stop chucking axes at me, which just... You know, if you get out of axe range as well, that's usually a pretty good indication that you're getting decent points. He can see me. He has been alerted by me. We can double check by firing an arrow near him and alerting him. He is not going to throw axes, so we're at a reasonable enough range that we'll score well, and we don't have to fucking duck wood and metal. Just have to hit the guy in the head. The problem that you have with... There we go. The problem that you have with these shots, as opposed to ones that are on your level, just to qualify that a little bit better, because I've thought of a better way to put it, is because you're firing down on them, there isn't really many places that you can aim that are close to the head without hitting something else. Whereas if you're on the same level as them, I can aim over that guy's head and then start bringing my shots down. Still hit him in the fucking shoulder. It's okay. Get another one out of it. There we go. But yeah, firing down on them isn't great. It's even worse, he says, on abominations. Yeah, of course, yeah. Much worse. Much worse. Terrible, in fact. Oh, good shot. By him, anyway, to get that axe off. But as I said, it is... Ooh. Yeah, no worries, well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. See you later. Yeah, we've definitely done the pit. I'm definitely almost certain. I think I was talking about something else and did it so quickly I didn't realise what I was fucking doing. Ooh, nice little headshots. That's the way to get headshots on Cupids, is to either try and be above them or shoot them before they have started stringing up their arrow. It's their bow and their wing and their shoulders that get in the way of what is already a very small target and stop you hitting it. We did do the... Sure, we did the pit. I don't know anymore. Anyway, here's the moment you have all been waiting for. No, I did in here as well. There's probably a couple to finish off, though. I binned it off early. We'll get you out. Let's clear up in here quick. This is always a nasty area, especially more so on the Quest 3 now, because everything's a lot darker. I like it, because they can hide. Good stuff. Oh, he's not even looking. He wasn't looking. Yeah, I thought I'd done agony. Right. So... What the... You... So if you alert him inside, again, I'm not really too bothered about these. If it was like a higher cycle, I'm taking multiple points of damage, I'd be slow timing, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. We've got health in the shot. But if you alert him inside and then come outside, he will teleport out. And as we have seen, this guy, when he plays, if you are up on here, make sure you're at a place. Test your left stick movement, because there are places here that you can teleport where it won't let you move, and you need to make sure of that before you start engaging so that you know. Ah, would you fuck off? I was explaining. God. Might hold. They make that shot. Yeah. Again, this is probably not like you're gonna let me, is it? It's probably too far away, if I'm honest. So get up there, shot there. Right, hold still, you fat fuck. Oh, I can't even see that. There we go. But then, as I said, if you get into those ranges... Oh, you guys really wanted to see the Wrath of God takedown, didn't you? If you get into those ranges where you're hitting body shots as much as you're hitting headshots, then you are probably too far away, and then you're kind of doing yourself a disservice because you're wasting health that you could be using. God, this is awkward. Ooh. Come on. Straight on. Oh, what the... I'll just get... But yeah, finding that range where you are able to reasonably consistently hit your headshots and not hit body shots. If I ever find it, I'll tell you. But it'll up your scoring without doing you out of points by basically wasting the enemy's health with body shots, because they don't score, as we know. Right. Stop up on health. And pick up the Hand of God, replace the Wrath. Actually, no, it'll just annoy me because it'll be in the wrong... Actually, I will, because we know what Winter's Bite does, and I can easily replace that. But now I've got Hand of God, and I can show you something else with Hand of God. Hand of God is useful on all bosses. Ever seen God cup Asmodeus? By the balls? Live tonight at 11 Standard British Time. I'll show you a quick cupping in just a moment. Ooh, and our last Blood of the Lamb as well. Excellent. As I said, I'm not too worried. When you should start, well, when I'll start playing it proper is when I'm either particularly low on life and need to recover, so need to play properly. That's when the lesson stops. Well, there you go, as they say. So, first off, let's cup the good man. So, for those of you who have Hand of God, yeah, there should be something that you can hit with a teleport arrow that takes you to the bottom. It's cool the first couple of times, now it's just annoying. So, Asmodeus, destroy the boils, then the dorsal flanges, then his horns. Easy, done. Did you know you can cup him? If you aim a Hand of God arrow right in the Canugan, or approximately where the Canugan would be on a humanoid, note how he is now in slow time. One of the things that does not go in slow time is the boulder. The boulder, until it leaves his hand, is in slow time, and then it goes to full time. So Hand of God is another arrow that can really help you against Asmodeus, not just with the enemies. You can cup him at all points. And all you simply have to do is hit him around abouts there. Hit him in his, well, just below his core, I guess. And then that will put him into slow time for the purposes of his wind-up, which gives you time. Buys you time. You've got double the time to pop the next blister before he gets a chance to do his skull wind up for another thing, so you're under less time pressure when he is cupped. Oh, yeah, completely forgot. Fuck! So, with Wrath of God, what you can do... Shit. Ah, fuck! Press the wrong button! Oh, well, there's a help there. What you can do with Wrath of God is you want to try and aim it up and over to then arc exactly like I just did it, or worst case scenario, hit his forehead and let it bounce, and then after the bounce it will travel down his body. It will take out all the boils, and it will take out most of the skulls in, well, you can usually do it in 1 or 2 shots. So sorry, I completely forgot. I was too busy cupping the old boy. And so, yeah, Hand of God can be used at all stages of this. It can be a great way for you to buy the time you need to get where you need to. We go here, because this is the spot where abominations can't get to you, and archers will either have to teleport or move into our line of sight, as long as we look this way, to get us, which makes those shots a little bit easier. And come out and get these ones. Arcing shot, you say? All dead in 1 at cycle 2. But as I said, the reason why we would use Wrath at these stages is because it's not doing enough damage. It does some, but a lot of the time, in the way that most people use it, it's not clearing rooms like past cycle 3 anymore, not in 1 shot. And you already get fuck all. So... it's another one of those arrows that looks awfully sexy, but you find out it's just all smoke and mirrors. I mean, all the way, but it disappears after a certain amount of time. Look at that, I've never done that before. Never thought to try. So, with this stage, destroy his Hadoken skull, fire a couple over the back. Asmo done. Dorsal flanges gone. And you didn't have to dodge a single fucking boulder at stage 2. Shall we move on? I always like to go for here as well. If you can make that shot, I find this the best place to be, because then instead of trying to traverse all the way up there, I'm up here before the enemies have spawned. It's also then useful twofold at this last stage. Hello, Fort Paul. Yeah, good. And then, so for those of you who don't know, if you just kill the archer and try not to kill any of the abominations, the next wave won't spawn. For you Wrath of God holders on, say, cycle 1, though, we don't need to worry too much about that. So you can just arc it over the top and it'll kill indiscriminately everything it sees. It's good to use the arrows every now and again, I guess. And then the last stage is, and what I like to do, what worked previously, is just bounce him off his forehead. And that usually does the trick. Oh, I didn't that time. One more. Oh! Maybe it wasn't bounce. No, I'm thinking of cataclysms. It's been a while. But yeah, you want to probably do a looping arc over the top of his head. Yeah, that was it. And you don't want that one to bounce because it stops doing its pulses on the bounce. But yeah, that wasn't a particularly great example, but Wrath of God, as it happens, really fucking good for doing Asmodeus. The only problem is you don't get Wrath of God. You don't get Wrath of God until you've beaten him. So the one arrow that makes all stages of him not really easy, but a lot less challenging, you don't get until you beat him. I can see the reason why, because they want some challenge within the game. But, yeah. Hello, Farmer. How we doing? So, yeah, I can see why. But, yeah, right, let's grab that for that. And then I figure we'll do... Yeah, no worries, Farmer. What have you been watching? Are you an IDU man? Or are you into the Radius? Or Dungeons? So... I can't come off now. I think this is... If it's this first stream, I've got to carry on a little bit, at least. Let's, What can I do? Let's show everybody how good Hand of God is, shall we? And all the situations that I'm now going to fucking torture myself with. And I'm going to keep that armor. Maybe, maybe not. So, Hand of God. Why is it worth your time? I am not in slow time. Now, you can see which ones are in and which ones are out. Oh, that farmer. Hello, dude. Sorry, I haven't checked my... I'm just listening. Because it didn't call you Farmer True VR. It called you Farmer True. Farmer True. Not slow time. But they're basically almost in slow time. And then I can use slow time on top of that again. To make them even more slow time. Look what it does to projectiles. That is in slow time again as well. But even at ridiculously high cycles, a combination of, like, that's at normal speed. Even at ridiculously high cycles, you can then all of a sudden slow time, and as the projectile is coming through the Hand of God, have time to move out of the way. So it helps us in many, many aspects. Oops, that's not a hand of God. Well, it's done well to kill him, though. Crowd control. Oh, shit! Loads of enemies! And they've all seen me! Bye! And I've placed it in somewhere, and now these guys can't even catch me at my walking speed whilst they're going through that. And also whilst they're slow. Makes things nice and easy. Ooh. Oh, that's a good shot! Good shot! My one wasn't as good. Let's get in that way a second. You thought about teleporting, didn't you? No. So, I don't know. What else? What else could happen? Right, teleporting over there. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. In the floor at my feet. And all of a sudden, all of these so-called threats are null and void. And I can just slowly walk out of the way of things. I am manipulating slow time at this point as well. But you wouldn't necessarily have to. And so it's kind of auto slow timing. And so if you wanted to become the ultimate ballerina of death... Oh, poor guy. The ultimate ballerina of death. This is the arrow for you. Oh, I lost my armor. I'm pissing around too much. I think I lost. Yeah. See, didn't even get an indication for that. But yeah, when they jump, you shouldn't really go for the headshot because it can be just fucking risky. When they're in a hand of God bubble, though. Ooh. What? You know how to, Meg. Yeah, but you're a crossbow girl, aren't you? It is harder to do. On I think Meg might be trying to do me a stream favour there. I can explain slow time. It might take a while. Thanks, Meg. Yes. So the other thing that I think as well is I think Hand of God is actually overpowered. So this is normal. This is normal. Now, right? Yeah. My, without Hand of God, you must use slow time. Come on now, Meg. But yeah, I'm using Quiver Select. Using Quiver Select is if you hold the button. Yeah, I thought you were doing that. Cheers, Meg. So I will explain slow time in a minute. We'll just do a little bit more on Hand of God. So I don't know. Let's time it. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000. 12 1000, 13 1000, 14 1000, 15 1000, 16. So you get it for about 20 seconds of normal time. Now, as we know, with a line, I don't go to desolation. I can't think what they're called. Fuck. With an Uncle Fester and Exorcist. I don't know why they called them Exorcist. I said to them, they're not an exorcist. He's more of a warlock than a fucking exorcist for what he's doing. It lasts for an obscene... No worries. No worries, fun. Cheers. See you later. Yeah, I'm just going to swap it over now. I think this will be the last one. So, Hand of God lasts a ridiculously long amount of time. As we know with the Exorcist, using something like slow time, You can. Hello, Ken. Ah, you can never forget. Thankfully, I've never forgotten. Got to stay on top of these things. To be fair, with more content, I'd happily let Dungeons of Eternity replace IDU, but it just needs leaderboards, and it needs a bit more. Just a bit more. Might be on its way. Anyway, so no, the Quest 3 side of things is looking good. I keep on getting pushed on the whole optimizer as well, but it's another thing. I don't really care too much about increasing the graphics. I think they're good enough. But if you guys can see it better in its higher quality and higher fidelity, again with that one, I'm tempted to have a look, because Shuey's been saying about it. So with the slow time bubble, if you then use, and this segues nicely into, thank you Meg, slow time. So press the quiver select button, brings up slow time. Slow time lasts for 5 seconds from the time you press the button. Note, there is no cooldown, there is no limit to the number of uses. It is supposed to be used for what you use it for, slowing time to defeat the enemies of the world. It just so happens that it's supposed to buy you time to pick your special arrows as well, but it then also has become a staple part of the way that the game is played. To give you an idea, so the reason why I mentioned that, let's take this dude out a second. The reason why I mentioned that is because with the hang on lads, I'll be back in a minute. So with the where did you come from, eh? Ooh, piece of candy. Don't need that yet. So with the Exorcist, his fire circle that he creates on Desolation, that lasts approximately 6 seconds before it pops and does you damage, or maybe 7. It's been a while. Using slow time at its, and you could really abuse it, you can get that out to about 32 seconds. So that should give you an idea of how much of a factor, it's like slowing the world down by 25%, I think that works out at then, if used correctly and multiple times over time. So if I just dive into this room now and try and get them chasing me, and I'll start using slow time. So they all know I'm here, they're all ready to react, and I start it and stop it, and start it and stop it, and start it and stop it, block and start it and stop it. Slam. Slam. So I hate using the shield. But look what this is doing for me. I know I took a hit, but, I'm trying to demonstrate something that I really shouldn't be. And then add the slow time bubble in, and look at this. I am literally the Flash now at this point. They're so slow. So slow. And so this is Hand of God plus slow time. And then what you want to do, and this is a very, very valuable skill to use, or to learn, is slow timing between your arrow shots. You cannot slow time when you have an arrow pulled, but you can slow time when you don't. And so that then breeds this. Slow time, shot. Back to slow time. Shot, slow time, 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 shot, slow time. And then you can just completely destroy entire rooms. And again, try and do a better job of it this time. Let's try and get in some trouble. You all see me, right? Do. Let's get rid of that guy, because you don't want to play the range game. Right, let's get out of the way, you guys. Bubble. Now, this would be a nasty situation without Hand of God, even using slow time. With slow time, these guys don't stand a chance. I can even have a quick look around. I'm still like, if I hold my... Every time you see the arrows come up, I am reapplying slow time. And as long as you reapply it before the 5 seconds are over, which you get into the practice of, then you can be in slow time indefinitely. When I play Mortal in this game, where you can only take 1 hit in the entirety of a run and you are then dead, you would be forgiven for thinking that you are watching a stop-go animation fucking program, the way that I play that. And the thing is, you should do this. It helps. It really helps in Paradise Lost of all levels as well, because if you are constantly hovering over the arrow select button, as you should be, the only time you wouldn't be is when you are moving, because you've got to use your thumb to do the 2 things. I mean, you can kind of use slow time, but do note, look at that. When I start slow time, it stops my locomotion, so you can't move whilst you are slow timing. Although you can. Can you on the crossbow? No, because you'd need to use the same one. It's the shield that you can bring up at the same time as slow timing with the crossbow, but you can't do that with the bow because it's on the same hand. Again, another advantage crossbow. So, but yeah. So to those of you who are looking at it and thinking, "Fuck, 1,701 ghosts." Well, yeah, it's that good. So even I think 1,701 ghosts is an obnoxious amount of ghosts, and it's as much to do with the fact that they only appear in one place, be it the pits, the or the outsides of the pits, and then only appear in real big numbers in the pits of one particular, well, 2 if you count Desolation. So here's another thing as well, when you've got all of your achievements and you have got the thing that allows you to get double health off of a Blood of the Lamb. Now when you have it at its maximum, and I think it's for killing like 107 orphans if memory serves, it often doesn't. When you have that at 30%, even when you have it at 10%, always make sure you are at least 2 health down before you collect one. I have a suspicion that even like the chances of this proccing off will happen whether you've got the life to accommodate the heal or not. So I grabbed that one, I'm now up to 11, so I got the 1 heal. If I now grab this one, there's a percentage chance that that would be the double heal one, but I would have wasted the double heal element of it. So always keep your life, always only heal when you are 2 below your maximum if you want to keep on top of your health. And the reason being is because of that. Even if you haven't got the achievement to maximum level, or haven't even started on that achievement, that is the way that you should play, because it then builds good habits for when you do have it, and then it kind of becomes second nature. Like, you know, there's a lot of what I practice that I don't preach when I'm in a stream, because I'm trying to keep things moving. But if I do the whole, see, I'm slow timing between my shots, and it's part of the reason why you want to try and get a reasonably rapid rate of fire going. And when I say rapid rate of fire, I mean the draw and the release. Because if you can draw and release accurately and quickly, you can press the slow time button again, and then draw and release and back onto slow time, and draw and release and back onto slow time. And if you can get that down, you can accomplish a lot in this game. How did you hit me now? Come on now. A lot that you can accomplish in this game. Always been a feature from the many years that I have been playing, yes. So, and it is fundamental to any level of play, but it's something that you don't really learn until you've been playing for quite some time, because it is a difficult skill to get down. One of the things that I will say, though, You can get passed through on headshots because of it, because you are slowing the world down. To these guys, it looks like I am machine gunning this bow. It looks like I'm firing rapidly because, you know, they don't get the benefits of me slow timing. Kind of like the Flash and Quicksilver, when they do their speed up, it's shown by them being slowed down and being able to move at normal speed, basically what I'm doing. So to them, I'm this dude just moving around incredibly fast, firing fucking shitloads of arrows. And that is good news for us. The best place to practice this skill, and where I learnt it, and it transfers over, obviously, very well to the main game, is on Siege of Heaven. Because on Siege of Heaven, you have to play this way. Shot, slow time, shot, slow time, shot, slow time. And the reason being is because in that game, using your slow time extends the time that you have to hit another enemy with an arrow to keep your combo going. Because in Siege of Heaven, that game is all about points. So, yeah, if you can get into the point scoring side of Siege of Heaven... Oh, so, yeah, we lost a piece of life here, so we will pick that up. It was only a 1 on this occasion. Because it's a 30% chance at the moment, we should get a double, approximately, well, at least every 4, probably every 3.5 Blood of the Lambs. But, like, you know, I've put 3 headshots in all of those guys, and he's dead now and thrown his bow away. There you go, there's a good indication of how slow that game is. Oh, that's gone now. And, you know, I was using slow time all that time as well. I put 3 headshots in those dudes, killed one, watched his bow fly away, and then was still able to come back and pop some more headshots in. And, like, I'm not going to say I'm the pinnacle of, but I'm a pretty good example of somebody who can abuse the slow time mechanic within this. And it will look like, oh, fucking hell, well, you're just putting the game into slow time all the time. That's fucking easy. Well, yeah, it takes some practice, though. Let me believe you me. And then you've got the game knowledge that comes in within that as well. And then you've got the other crowd that are like, slow time's cheating. No, it's really not. You haven't been very far into this game if you think it's cheating. It is needed. Bear in mind the level that I'm doing it is, I suppose, probably considered quite cheesy. But the simple question that I ask you is, if you were Superman, or you were Neo from The Matrix, or, I don't know, somebody else, Deadpool, or, you know, insert other popular superhero here, and you were just average Joe, but with these superpowers. Oh, you'd use them sparingly, wouldn't you? Would you fuck? If you were Superman, you'd be flying everywhere. Laser beams cutting across every single fucking skyscraper and asteroid that you could find. Super strength, you'd be tossing cars around and uprooting trees. No worries, Weebs. See you later, mate. With that great power, yeah, great responsibility. Pah! You would use it all the time. This is no different. You are overpowered. Make use of it. The thing is, the other thing to note as well, you have enemies that are insanely accurate. Later on in the game, we take more damage per tick of health that we take against us. They can teleport. You know, how's that any different? They've got unlimited special arrows for the ones they have. Let's not even fucking start about skeleton archers. Cheating bastards. Ghosts can clip through walls. You know, do you see any ghosts in this game going, no, don't you worry, mate. What I'll do is instead of going round, right, instead of going through the wall, what I'll do is I'll go round, yeah? Because obviously the ghosts are Cockney. So, no, of course I fucking don't. They're incorporeal. They just go straight through the fucking wall and touch you. So, yeah. There you go. Rant over. And if you're still not convinced, we'll go fucking play Purist then, eh? Oh, is he going to hit him with that shot? Ah, you missed! But I can just watch them dance through the air. But then the next part that comes across this as well, this is where the game knowledge comes in, is knowing when you've bitten off too much that you can chew. Now, at this cycle and stage, it's going to take quite a lot for me to be in a position where I've bitten off way too much. And the fact that I've got shit tons of health, like, even accentuates that factor. The other reason why I can tell you that this game has been designed with slow time in mind is there is an executioner bonus. And that executioner bonus, the timer, it's an invisible one, but it is there. The timer is extended by the use of slow time. Just like the timer is extended for comboing in Siege of Heaven. Now, why would they do that if the slow time was not made for this game? So then that allows you to play the game at the pace that it is designed to be played at, because I'm probably playing, even I play this way too fast. You can play the game at that slower, methodical pace that you're supposed to, but you've got slow time on top of that as well. And I, for one, think it makes the game massively enjoyable. Well, there's a pit there, so we're going to have to deal with that then. Like, the game knowledge comes with what do I need to take out first here with all of this slow time. See? Didn't fucking go round, did ya? No, you went straight fucking through, didn't ya? We need to go and get that orphan before she disappears. Where's she gone? Oh, you little shit. Oh, where did she go? Oh, cheeky bastard. Ah, well. I was chatting with the Cockney ghost. That's my excuse. I suppose a lot of people have said, actually, so it's probably worth addressing. Like, you know, oh, if you missed an orphan, you know, is that like fucking run over? Would you start again? Because it's worth a lot of points. When you can get far, no, not really. It doesn't really make too much odds. Later on, it's incubi that are making you all the points within the pits. Headshots as well? Cockney ghost? Yes? No? Okay. Anyway. That's when I'm worked out for the day. Fucking hell, I'm tired now. We'll do the pit and I'll call it a night then. What a great place to start the next stream on Anakim. Brilliant. Right. I think that's everything. Is that everybody dead? Probably. Oh, no, it was at the top there still. This really annoys me. What you make me do, chat. What you make me do. See that one pass through his head? That's because I'm abusing the slow time and the headshots too much. I'm going too fast for the game, and it does weird stuff with the hitboxes. If you fire at a reasonable rate and let them do a little bit of their staggering, the hitbox usually kind of reappears. But if you ever get your arrows going through faces, that's the reason why. You might think, oh yeah, fuck it, it was just close, I did miss. No, you probably didn't, it just probably went through. Right, that now looks like it. Oh, grumble, grumble. Should be some in here. Yes. So, one of the things that I will cover as well. So as we said, 1,000 701 ghosts. That is an obnoxious amount of ghosts. What's the best way to do it? Once you have access to the pits and you are at that sort of 75, 80%, maybe even closer to 90, because Hand of God, if you let it, will be one of the last ones that you'll unlock, is when you want to be trying to farm it. I mean, you can farm it at any stage, but it would be better to do it when you have a higher percentage in the game, because then there are more ghosts in the pit. And the easiest way to get Hand of God is start a fresh game. Do it in cycle 1. Why make the game harder for yourself? Go straight from the start, find the pit, fire your teleport arrow straight in there. As soon as your teleport arrow hits that entrance, you're safe. You cannot take damage. You cannot be hit. Then you come in here, kill all the ghosts, and then take a lava bath. And you can even do that thumb up thing as you sink into the lava, like Arnie does in T2. And repeat. Dedicate an afternoon to doing that, and you will have all 5 achievements. The last one, because it goes up in stages, the last one being the one for Hand of God. And it is well worth having. It's still a rare arrow to get. If you're not getting a good couple to few cycles deep, you might not even see it in an early run. But I guarantee you, if you are learning the game, Hand of God, there are a lot of arrows in this game. Ooh, hello. There are a lot of arrows in this game. A hell of a lot of arrows in this game that as you are playing it, you will go through stages of. We've talked about Tempest. We've talked about Wrath of God. We have talked about all sorts of arrows during what small time we have here. One arrow that you will never get rid of and will suit you all the way through to end game is Hand of God. Another one? Yeah. Excuse me, fellas. Can you keep yourself busy in there? I've got an orphan to pursue. Trying to prioritise the orphan here because I don't want to miss one. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier, wasn't it? If I missed an orphan, would I restart a one? No, not a chance. And if it was really early, maybe. But if it was a pit orphan really early, then perhaps. Because obviously they're worth 2.5 times what they are outside of the pits. Now, one of the reasons why I'm playing the pit a little bit stupid is just so I can show off another brilliant use of Hand of God. Anybody who is struggling with the pits, Hand of God is huge. Absolutely huge. Here's another one as well. Yeah, I've really got the space to show that off. Yeah, go on then. Barrage of needles. If you can grab a barrage of needles before you go into the pits whilst you are farming ghosts, then do so, but it's potentially just wasting your time with farming. Oh, look, that one hasn't got my name on it. This is why Barrage of Needles is really good against ghosts. Whilst you are building up the accuracy, you can just aim it in the general direction and fire it off. For those of you not in the know, yeah, there was a time when it was a great scoring arrow. Me and K2 remember. It basically fires a shotgun blast, like a there's actually one big flechette within there, like a solid round, a huge one, and then loads of little ones. The big one used to be a headshot, and every single one of the little pellets used to count as a headshot for scoring purposes as well. Kim knows. Kim remembers. And yeah, they nerfed that. Do you know why they nerfed it? Because everybody was playing with it. It's like, yeah, cool. What about Winter's Bite, Hand of God, Cataclysm 5? Everybody plays with those. Everyone's using it for scoring. Well, technically everybody's using all the other arrows for scoring as well. I'm not bitter about Barrage of Needles, but I am very bitter about Barrage of Needles. Anyway, so I wanted to harvest up a load of ghosts, because what is the worst scenario that you could potentially have in a pit? I'd imagine it's probably pretty similar, if you're anything like me, to what I'm about to get myself into now. So I think we can all agree that that's pretty bad, right? And now it's easy. Bit of slow time. Or barrage needles. If you're not using slow time. Even got time to turn around and hear them. When I get this is how I play Fletcher as well when I'm trying to get through the pits nice and quick. Gather up all the ghosts, go through the Fletcher quiver to drop a hand of God. Well, right? They expected Barrage of Needles to just be another... Okay, when I told them about Barrage of Needles during one of the tournaments, they were basically like, I mean, it's not really an exploit, so go and fill your boots. The thing is, you're using it as it's intended. And I was like, right? Just because no one else has thought of it, that's not my problem. I'll win a tournament out of it and then I'll tell everybody. That's the only time I will ever withhold information, is if I am in direct competition with others. As is my right. Problem is, it only lasts me once and then I've blabbed it and then I can never really rely on it again. So... Now I know what you're thinking. Am I holding anything back from Mr. Laurent Courtier and his little mortal run and his little push on me and me telling him that I will take my mortal spot back and I will take his Fletcher spot off him as well? Am I holding anything back? Wow. Silver-tongued devil, I guess. We shall see. Yeah, no, it's in the original as well. You can use Barrage of Needles. I don't think a lot of people that are in the scoreboard of the original In Death are actually using Barrage of Needles either. There's still, not a lot, but there's still people who play the game, the original In Death. The one thing that I do actually need to do, and I dare say we'll stream it, I enjoyed my time on the original In Death, but it does feel, in comparison to what we have on Quest, it feels like a quarter of the game, not even half. And I do want to try it again, mainly because I have something that I think will do a better job of tracking. If I could get this level of tracking in Death, then I think I would find it a lot more enjoyable. Other than that, it's just a bit of a novelty experience, really. But yeah, maybe that's something that we'll have a visit of. Oh look, skeleton archers, hardest enemy in the game in my humble opinion, and not anymore. Oh, you're gonna do a Fonzie impression for me in slow motion? Well, why, you shouldn't have. No, you really shouldn't have. Ooh, that was close. Didn't see. Look at that rate of fire. 2 arrows for the price of 1. What a champ. And you're starting now. You can need to deal with you. You've gone. Oh, have you Did you? You'll have to let us know how you get on if you manage to play it on the Quest 3. I assume you'd use virtual desktop. I do need to have a look. Yeah, I do need to have a revisit of that one, I feel. Because, yeah, with a little bit better tracking. But then, you know, oh, fuck off. Didn't even see her. She was hidden behind the pillar. Good girl. You cockney bastard. Right. I'm gonna have to start taking this game seriously soon. I'm gonna tell my pissing around's gonna get me killed. Even using slow time can make, You know, ghosts are definitely one of the most fearful. I really do hope that they do one last update to this game and they make the skeletons and the ghosts look as good as they do in the original in-death game. And I don't think it's beyond them either, and I don't think it's beyond the headset either. I mean, that game's like, what, 4 years old? It is gorgeous, but, you know, there's so much more the Quest 3 can do. I know, I've seen it. Oh. Right. Let's clear up here, and then we will call it a night. Although, yes, double headshot points, or 1.5 headshot points, skeleton archers are the worst enemy that you can possibly get into a long-distance archery duel with, because they'll teleport all over the show if you don't hit your headshots. One of the other things that they have a nasty tendency to do as well is, even with headshots and body shots, occasionally they just don't stagger. They just shrug it off. And that'll get you taking damage. Again, even with slow time abuse, because it's out of character, it's out of sorts for how the game has shown you how they work. Personally, I think it's a glitch. Again, like with a lot of things since the latest update, there are things that I haven't seen since or anymore. I know there's been a couple mentioned tonight and I haven't come across them. So another Hand of God use here. This is more for scoring than anything else. I knew there was one down there. There's two. Hey! So I guess help them get out. Plenty. Plenty! So, one of the other things that we could do to make this a bit of a scoring arrow is I could, if I were so inclined, don't usually do this myself, but if he's in a position that I want him there, not there, just not playing tonight. That's a really bad position for him to be in, because the headshot is nigh on impossible because of that fucking bit of wall. I mean, you probably can get it, but you're more likely to hit the body than anything else. Now that's more like it. And if we were to Hand of God him, and then move away, we've actually got a chance to hit him and get those headshots and all those juicy headshot points before he teleports away. I don't think he's going to hit him. You might. Eat one of those a second. Concentrate on your boy over here. And then once you've got those headshots going in, it's easy to keep him at that distance and finish him off with more headshots, which then means more points. Something else that's also cool, I won't be able to do it with the bow, I don't. No, I will be able to do it with the bow. See where I can get him to teleport to. One of the things that Incubi do, this is like pro level tip, I suppose, because this is for when Incubi on Asmodeus get to the point where you can't actually do enough damage to them quickly to kill them before the lava raises. The 1 or 2 Incubi that are on Asmodeus. At that stage, Travis plays at that sort of level, or does play at that level. And so he has to employ one of 2 techniques, using a lot of resources on them, or using a little less and dumping them into the lava with like things like explosives and stuff. But that then means sacrificing a precious slot on our very small quiver to do that. Now what I do is I Hand of God, and then it's all about rapid headshots. Because if you don't give the Incubi time to recover during his stagger... See how he's lowered his level a little bit? And then if we carry that on... And I'm thumbing... This is what I do with the slow time to get them where I want them. Tapping it, and then holding it to when they're where I want them, and then continuing. And let's slow time him again. You're out the bubble. And also note as well, I'm actually standing still. Notice how he's like on the tilt a little bit. He's decided to start going at a jaunty angle. Very jaunty. And this is another one of the little known things with Hand of God, is that if you can Hand of God bubble one of these guys and then continually headshot them, whilst they're in the Hand of God bubble, it'll start dropping their altitude, and it also turns them on their side. I've had at high cycles just pissing about. Got me killed, I might add, as well. You know, one of those things that I do. I've had a fucking incubi vertical. Well, no, not vertical. They start off vertical. I've had an incubi horizontal. Not like that. And there's probably a picture on Facebook somewhere. I think I posted it. I can't remember. But yeah. Very horizontal angle. Oh. Let's just have a quick check down here. You can sometimes get them in the walls here. Like, these are the little things that need a bit of a touch-up. Because, like, you know, the wall looks alright. It's serviceable. Torch, yeah, okay. Roof, fan, yeah. But there, come on. Little bit of love, jeez. What's that supposed to be? A fucking pig with wings? Maybe a dog? Doesn't look like a gargoyle, I can tell you that much. But then, like, even things like this, look at the shine and the levels of detail on that. It's not particularly great, but it's serviceable. But then, and the lava looks good as well on Quest 3, or it looks better than it did anyway. But then, every now and again, you come up against something that's just like, ugh. In, like, Perdition. Pit of Perdition and Pit of Reformation. No, there's another one of those dog statues. Pit of Reformation and Perdition. The skulls look fucking terrible. They look like they're made out of Lego. And they're only little things, and it doesn't really matter. It's like, you know, even that statue is pretty good, you know? Could do with a little bit of love, I think, but it's not bad. You know, I think they've done a fantastic job of, like, the stained glass and the lighting effect. It looks so good. So good. And I do get the impression that, you know, it's not even using an awful lot of what the headset's capable of as well. Because I'm no longer getting any stuttering, any slow time, any bits and pieces whilst I'm streaming this game. I used to on the Quest 2. And they've upped this. Still, the flooring, yeah, what can you say? I want all of this in Paradise Lost. I think it would make the level look so good. Here's that Barrage and Needles thing. He should take enough damage. See all those extra numbers that are coming out of him? Those are all individual headshots, and they used to score. So yeah, but as I said, the old guard remembers. And yeah, in relation to, I can't remember, I think it was Meg who said, like, they need to bring it back. I think they do, but I also see the factor that there are people that don't like it, there are people that don't want to play with it, and there are people that don't want it within the game. Some understandably so. I remember chasing LG on the leaderboards once, and he was like, see, you got 16 million there, what cycle are you on? I was like, 14. And he was like, fucking what? He was on like cycle 20 with the same amount. And so I was able to get a lot more score for not getting anywhere near as far as he could get in the game. And no, they are good. And the thing is, the game's been done incredibly good and incredibly well in most areas, but there's a few places where it's like, yeah, that asset's been made, that hasn't been imported from somewhere else. It's almost like a reason why this one looks so good is it was very high detail and then dumbed down for Quest 2 and Quest 1. Yeah, possibly, but it was, well, I was told the reason, and it was basically as simple as, look, everyone's using it, and we don't want that, and there's people complaining about it. It's like, alright, whatever. But So my idea was, and I can show it off because we'll call it a night there, but my idea was, okay, that's fine. I see you complainers. I'm not trying to ruin your fun, but let me make a compromise on you trying to ruin mine. And so the compromise would be... Oh, yeah, there you go. The compromise for me would be add barrage of needles becoming a scoring arrow within the amulet system. So I want an extra amulet. Call it the devil's advocate, if you like. Well, devil's something anyway. Not for the recognition, I just think it would be funny. No one knows who I am, so it wouldn't even matter. But devil's advocate, because I think it would be a good name. And it basically, all it does is, it now means that all flechettes within a barrage of needles count for score and gold with a headshot. And then what does that mean? That means not only does barrage of needles come with, as K2 said, a much higher risk, but also Blessed Quiver, I would then be torn between what I would take, and it would actually give me pause as to, hang on a second, then do I want Blessed Quiver then for those extra arrows so that I can get further, or do I want my bomb back so that I can score better earlier? And the big thing that I tried to point out and was never really explored, and I was not shot down for, but was that barrage of needles used to come at a ridiculously high risk, but as K2 was saying, high reward. It quivers up like a motherfucker, so you wouldn't be able to rely on having arrows that you needed to effectively deal with the bosses. It also, if you're going to carry around barrage of needles, well, if you're going to score properly with them, you need to be carrying double barrage of needles, and you kind of need to be covering 2. So then all of a sudden you've lost 2 of the 4 arrows that you need to be able to do, like Anakim, high cycle. And so ultimately you are sacrificing quick scoring for longevity. And I'm sorry, but longevity is always going to win. And the thing is, a barrage of needles hit on an enemy used to score about the same as a shot of that sort of distance. But this shot didn't take any ammunition, didn't require anything special. You had it as you was. And I just thought it would be the great homage of... as well, I did a video on it called Shotgun versus Sniper. That's got most of my thoughts in for what I knew at the time anyway. But what a great place to end it. What a bombshell. I'm talking about barrage of needles again. So this has been In Death Unchained on the Quest 3 Native. I have been Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.